All right, I've started the recording.
All right,
It's
it's
doing
on,
it. It's doing it.
but they're not watching it
They certainly are not. Um,
yet.
yet. All right, so welcome to you who have come to Animeism. I am your host, Alex, and this is your other host, Anthony, or Ant. What would you like to be
Me,
called?
I definitely go by Ant if you know me well enough, but I feel like if you don't, good old Anthony works just fine.
Well, I've only known you for 30 years, so I
Yeah,
suppose
so like
Ant.
you can just call me Ah if you want. You can
So,
take me down to pause as slow as you want. I can be half of a vowel if you know me that well at that point, 30 years.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Anthony, or Ant, as I suppose I'm allowed to call him, is
That's
located
good.
in Hollywood, California. I am located in somewhere near Detroit, Michigan. Troy, Michigan. Wait, am I in Troy? I'm not. I'm just from Troy. I'm in Auburn Hills. Welcome to you who have come to Animeism.
We don't know where we are.
I don't know where I am. I don't know where I'm going to sleep
Uh,
tonight. So,
Congratulations for
yeah.
tuning in, though,
So,
because
yeah,
definitely you found us
you found us.
who were apparently lost.
This is the worst summer 2022 preview that's ever happened.
All right, shut it down.
Shut it down. All right. So we're gonna work on the sound. We're gonna work on the editing, the light, the ambiance. But right now we're just trying to get some content out there into the multiverse. So we're gonna start with a preview of the upcoming season, which today, as time of recording, it's June 29th. So the new season is going to start in like 2 days. Everything else is wrapping up. I guess just to give the massive fans of animeism an understanding of us, what what have you been watching lately?
One Piece,
Sure.
a lot of that. Um, yeah, I am just basically housing One Piece. I can't even think of any other anime that really has me completely sold other than this came to mind. Awashi. Awashi is hitting all the right notes for me right now.
And we're going to talk more about that because it continues in the summer season. That's
Excellent.
that's
I'm
that's a
so
new
glad.
boy. That's soccer.
Yeah.
Um, how about this then? Off the top of your head, what is a show that you think is incredibly underrated that you would plead with people to watch that is maybe underwatched?
And it doesn't have to be current.
Doesn't have to be current. Obviously, like the answer to this wouldn't be One Piece because everyone's watching One Piece. I'll start just to
Yeah,
give you
but
some time.
still
I would go with
okay,
Run.
yeah,
I would go with Run with the Wind. That's my one where I'm just like, please, for the love of God, everyone watch Run with the Wind. I think
are
it's.
you serious? You're just gonna put me on the spot like that? You have a great obscure reference, but where's my I don't have an obscure
I
reference
wanted
right
the
now.
natural feel of. I felt like I was going to ask you this question in advance, and you were going to start sweating and
I am
swearing.
sweating and I am 1000% fucking swearing and I have absolutely no idea what obscure dope anime. I panic when everybody asks me my top 5.
Well, we're gonna
10,
well we're
15.
we're gonna save our top 5, 10, and 15 for another video. Okay, so don't don't ruin your top 10 now. Just give me one. Give me one goddamn show.
All right, listen. I hated it at first and I still do, so I'm not bringing it up.
Okay,
Looking
excellent.
at a list and it's none of these are my plead for yous,
Okay,
which just means that it's just, it's been a while since I've been compelled. Uh, so I'll just dig deep into the bag. Ping pong the animation.
Ping Pong the Animation. That's a great one. So
Yeah, that's
we both
now,
have
didn't you tell me that that was drawn by somebody that I actually messed with already, which is why I liked it so much?
yeah, it's I believe the mangaka is the same who made or perhaps no, not the mangaka. Sorry, the director I believe is the same as Japan Sinks and Devilman Crybaby and a few other very impressive things.
I was like his rawest version too. He basically didn't even have to finish any of the scenes and everything was perfect.
Right.
It's
So
like
we
all
both
sketches, all
we
anime.
both just had super obscure like sports anime essentially.
I didn't have a choice, and you set me up. I
I
didn't know.
did.
I
I
didn't
set
know
you
that
up for the fall.
we were doing that. God damn it! I'm still sweating.
so so it would then be wrong of me to then also ask you what's an overrated anime that everyone
Oh
loves.
no, no, no! That is 1000% the easiest correct thing that you can ask me,
Okay.
and the correct answer is no longer Attack on Titan. It is everybody's favorite My Hero Academia. One
Oh well,
thousand
yeah.
percent, way over.
I
Don't
my
at me. I don't want to talk about it.
my answer is very similar to that because it's Tiger and Bunny and they're like the same show. I tried to watch Tiger and Bunny and I couldn't do it. I got through like half of an episode. And I tried to watch it I
That
think
didn't grab.
3 times. But it's one of the
Yeah,
most
no,
popular.
that's
It's
it
insane.
looks good, Al. That's it, man.
I don't
It
know
looks
that
good.
it does. I'm not sure
Yeah,
that
I
it looks
know.
good.
Yeah, but see, like, isn't that why you kept clicking it though? It wasn't because somebody told you to.
No, I kept clicking it because on all these polls that they run in Japan, they'll be like, "What is like the most exciting?" Like what is everyone's favorite anime in Japan? And they
Yeah.
always like Tiger and Bunny is at the top of these lists. It's like above
What?
Dragon Ball and One Piece. So
Tiger and Bunny made it like that. It's like the first one to kind of blend the reality of like real brands in things. Excuse me.
there's that, and I think there's also the aspect that it's more of an American style, and so we might be sick of that concept over here, especially after 10 years of the Marvel universe
Yeah.
running our lives.
Yeah.
So
So it's
maybe,
yeah.
yeah, that I think that might be the same reason that My Hero Academia is so popular. But I do believe it's fallen off a little bit, to be honest. I think that it used to be that a new season was at like the top of the charts, and now I think it's comfortably in the middle.
I just feel like it's mostly gimmick and then really good. There's so much talent in the industry, right? So we're never really complaining about how well somebody put something together. The production teams are always solid. It's just mostly like whether or not the content's compelling. I feel like they didn't really worry about that as much as they did everything else. That's why I'm always mad at them and stuff. That's all.
I understand that for some reason every anime has to take place in a high school. I've accepted that. But I think I might have mentioned this to you before. I get very confused when the first season I actually thought was going well. And then it gets to a point where they're like saving the world.
Yeah,
And then somehow in the next season, they're like back in high school, like
back in
having like
school.
a training
Exactly.
arc. I see Kai Kai has made a grand entrance.
He's in rug mode.
I just saw a casual mosey. It's good news. Shiba Inu, true anime dog.
Anime dog. Thanks.
All right, let's jump in. Let's get at this season and let's see if we how we're feeling about it.
Yeah, I'm desperately, obviously, I need something extra. I'm watching everything but anime. You asked me what I'm watching, dude. I almost yelled Master Chef and yeah, Money Heist, Korea. Like, I'm watching stuff, but anime's on, but I'm not watching as much of it as I would like to. So maybe there's something in here we could
Is that one
change
show
my
or
mind
two?
about.
Is money? What was it?
Money Heist
Money Heist
is
Korea? Is that a show? Money Heist Korea, or is that two
yeah,
shows?
so about that, Money Heist is a show, and then Money Heist Korea dropped, and now they're just spinning off of their own content with their own character setup, and then redoing it in a different culture in different country. It's the same story, and the characters are the same, but they're just retelling it. It's like they failed the final, not final. the Fantastic Four, and they were just like, let's run it back. Let's just do it again. Fuck it, you know? Yeah, but I'm not saying it was a failure, but nonetheless, they definitely did this thing where they said, well, we'll just take the bones of Money Heist Spain. It was based in Spain. And they just jammed it into Korea. North Korea and South Korea story. It's actually really compelling.
All right. Well, if they make an anime of it, maybe I'll sink into it.
It's kind of basically an anime, yeah. Like it would be something that wouldn't be hard to animate at all. It would be more the drama, like like the character designs would be really dope because it's also coming through. It's really cool to see what people they cast. Like, oh man, that's definitely the correct way to do it.
Word. Sounds good. Well, yeah, I haven't watched anything other than anime in like a month because I've just been going down a rabbit hole. I never actually said what I've been watching, which is just running Dragon Ball Z back from the start. I I
No
start
crap.
I started with Dragon Ball, like the original
Yeah.
Dragon Ball. I watched all of that, and now I'm like finally reaching, like I just finished Goku fighting Vegeta, and they're on their way to Namek, and like I could
Yeah.
not be happier. Like it is the best part of the show. It's my favorite thing ever, and
That's
I've
really
just
dope.
I know that a lot of people have said, including you, that you don't feel like maybe it holds up. I understand that the pacing is not amazing, but the moments that you get in Dragon Ball Z, like just the actual moments, like Gohan going SSJ2, or like Piccolo shooting through Raditz and Goku at the same time, and just stuff like that, it never gets old to me. And I think that it's still just like, dude, they know how to be serious. Like there's no harem bullshit. There's no like, I don't know, like if they know how to be like keep it light, but they know when to make it like the most serious, like awesome thing ever. And I'm
Yeah.
loving it, and I'm insane. So I actually made a spreadsheet, as you know, I love spreadsheets of all the movies, and
Yeah.
I'm making sure that I watch the movies in the order that they came out with the show. So like if movie 1, The Dead Zone, came out the week after episode 11 of Dragon Ball Z, I'll watch episode 11, then I'll watch The Dead Zone, then I'll watch episode 12. And so
Right.
I'm experiencing it as though I'm living in 1989 in Japan and seeing the movies
Yeah.
like on the day that they come out in the theater.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. The way they would have you watch it.
right.
This is
And
the optimal viewing
I'm
experience.
going for the
Okay.
optimal experience. I've seen it every other way, so now I'm trying to be the true one way. And
I don't know that I saw all of Dragon Ball, like not in sequence.
I feel like it's a shame that people didn't see all of
Yeah.
Dragon Ball because it's really good, but it starts off in a way that I think makes people not want to watch it because it seems very childish and silly when he's like going around meeting Yamcha and Oolong and that kind of stuff. But the back half with Piccolo Daimo, like Piccolo's, dad, it is insane. And the Red Ribbon Army saga is really fun. I mean, it's actually really good. It's just that you got to get through the first like 40 episodes before it starts to feel more like Dragon Ball Z and less like a silly like Doctor Slump show. So
That's that. Uh, I mean, I don't know that I'll ever take that much time to go back, but
no, I
there's
don't.
always time. There's
I
always time.
There's always time. I know that you were running back Naruto at one point. I think it's one of those things that you just put on in the background, and
Yeah,
you just look up when your favorite parts are on. Um,
dude, the Naruto rewatch was absolutely deliberate and involved, and as maybe more attentive this time than the first time when we were in college and it was coming out. Like I feel like I'm really into it as I'm rewatching it all the way up through the pain stuff. Like I don't remember caring or paying attention to the fine details as much. I may have just been on autopilot for a lot of this because of all the filler, and I didn't have the filler guides. So
you're
now
really
I got the
dating
filler
us.
guides. I'm feeling like a champion.
You're really
Yeah,
dating us,
sorry.
mentioning that we watched it in college.
College. I mean, I'm not
I
gonna
wa-
call it high school
I watched it when I
because
was
that wasn't
6.
correct. And
Yeah.
if we said anything else, I mean, look, man, we gotta own it. We're the mid crowd now, but there's a lot of us, so
No,
we're fine.
I know. I know.
We're the
Um,
ones that survived. all of the BS. We thought it was cool before they thought it was cool. They thought it was cool for like all of this.
Yeah.
We've been here hanging out, just watching it every single season, going to the conventions.
We were at Anime Central in Chicago in like 2005. I think that was our first anime convention when we were
Back in 2012. Like,
Yeah, well, no, we've been. I haven't been to an anime convention in several years, obviously because of the situation. But
yeah,
yeah, and also they're just all like sold out and insane now. But at the time, it was like easy to get into the hotels. It was a different world. Um, okay, I have more things I've been watching, but in the interest of actually reviewing the upcoming season, I will move on. So I have them sorted by popularity and we're just sort of gonna float through them. This is a season where I think that the ones that people are going to be watching are mostly sequels. I didn't do too much looking into it because I kind of wanted to be like surprised during this video and get more of like natural reactions and stuff like that. But I do know like I know the names of the shows, but I haven't really dove into them. But so the sequels we don't have to spend too much time on because I feel like a lot of people already know them. But we can do like a quick little review. The first one obviously is The Devil's a Part-Timer, which I think
yeah,
the first season came out 9 years ago in spring of 2013. So it's one of those ones that people have been waiting for a long time. Um, you said that you've seen this one before, or have you seen part of
yeah.
it?
So I definitely saw that way back in the day. Just simply, off of your recommendation. I'll give anything a full episode check out based on like a trusted sources recommendation kind of vibe, and that was a pleasantly rewarding one because I just didn't really know what the tone was going to be. I knew that it was going to be satire, but like they started off, I rewatched it. I rewatched it, so now I'm a little bit more obsessed with what happened. And they started off like all action, all danger, all crazy,
Yeah,
and it had absolutely no humor. It looked like Berserk, and it looked
zero
like it was
humor.
going to get crazy. And I was just like, "What? Did I turn on the right thing?" I checked the URL to make sure I was on the right link. I was absolutely certain I was watching a different show for at least 30 seconds. So I let it happen. I let it boil out, and I was just like, okay, there it is. There's the show I remember.
And then
And
it
they snap
becomes
out of it, and
one
then
of the
just bam.
funniest. Yeah, it becomes one of the funniest things that it's like has ever happened to me. It's up there with like Konosuba and Sakamoto and like all these other
Yeah,
ones that are like really funny. I think it's one of the funniest
yeah,
shows, and they actually keep kind of going back and forth with the serious fights. There's several more big fights in the show, like as it progresses. So I don't, for these sequels, I won't talk about more than like really the first episode of the first season, just because, not to give spoilers away or anything like that. But
yeah,
it's very funny, and the action and animation continues to be really good. So I would recommend rewatching the first 13 and then just continuing on with this one. I think this is probably the show that I'm like second most excited for this season, which is
yeah.
sa- saying a
It's
lot.
a bit of an anime watcher's kind of dream that a show like this would get reactivated as late in the game as it
Yeah,
did. Because you
it,
kind of give up on things when they hit the tone, and you're just like, why not? Why didn't it keep going?
yeah.
And that's it.
Give
So
me a
you kind of get
second.
it.
Give me a second season of Batum. I want more Batum. Where's Batum at? Why won't they
The
give me
Tomb
another?
was really good
Please.
because nobody, I don't know, nobody else liked it. I swear to God, we're the only fans.
I hear
You,
all the
me, and
time.
Crystal, we absolutely love it.
I know so many people that love Batum and are like, "All right, second season, let's go." And I know that the manga ended like maybe like a year or two ago. So, the source material is done. It's one of those ones that's going to drive me to manga, and I don't
Yeah,
want that. I want them to
I see what you're doing.
you that's I see what you're doing and I don't like it. That's just animate it for me and then voice act it and then give it to me.
Stop being so lazy. I'm too lazy, so you do it.
Yeah. But essentially, the devil's a part timer. Is Satan is about to lose his stronghold in the other world, and so he kind of just like ejects into another world, which ends up being modern day Japan. And because magic doesn't exist in our world, like it does in his. He's like significantly weaker. He's like way less buff. He's got like the body of like a, 17-year-old like otaku basically. And he just immediately embraces working at McDonald's and just fucking loves it. And he's just crushing it. Like he's like offering to heat up like baby formula for like that one woman and like just he's just like the model employee. So it's really
Stellar
funny.
employee.
It's really funny, and then there's all these undertones of anti-Christianity stuff, which always a plus for me, especially in these Roe versus Wade times that we're living in. Um, so I just I'm a big fan of this one, and I think I would say I there's there's very few people that wouldn't enjoy it that like anime in general. I think it's kind of one that hits most people. Okay, this second one, hear me out, is the one that I'm most excited for this entire season. Rent a Girlfriend is so goddamn good, and it's not for you. I don't recommend that you watch it. It's it's perfect, dude. It's so funny, and it's not like standard bullshit trash. It's like peak perfect trash. Like I have moved on from like all like harem nonsense. I've moved on from things that are just like, okay, this one's gonna be the shy one, this one's gonna be the like aggressive busty one, this one's gonna be the whatever. He's gonna have five girls, whatever. Exactly.
I
This
forgot
is
my hat the whole time, so I'm putting it on now.
Yeah, this is put on your rent a girlfriend hat. This is basically the the first season is this kid goes to college. He's never had a girlfriend. He meets a girl there. He dates her for a month, and then she just absolutely like breaks his heart. Just doesn't want anything to do with him anymore. And she's super malicious and like horrible and manipulative and whatever. But he's still in love with her. And so to get over her, he tries to rent a girlfriend one day because that's a awkward service that they do offer in Japan. I've seen you can YouTube it. There's a lot of videos of people renting girlfriends. It's a very odd experience. You can rent a mom too and some other things. You can rent a whole family. But anyway,
Okay.
so he when he's on the date with this rent a girlfriend, he kind of like realizes that he's like, fuck, like what am I doing? Like she doesn't even want to be here. I'm like paying this girl to pretend that she is my girlfriend. Like I'm miserable. And but then basically he gets mad at her and he leaves her like a bad rating. And then, but I understand that it's not going to be for everyone, but the humor is like actually really funny. Like there's so many times where he like thinks about his ex-girlfriend and then gets really sad, but then it just immediately cuts to him like throwing the tissues in the trash because he obviously also then jerked off. There's like really funny. I don't know. It's very funny and it's very trashy, but it's something you can watch every episode in like 4 hours, and it hit home for me for sure. It reminded me of people in my life, and that helped. Um,
I
but I don't recommend it for you. But I'm excited for it.
every once in a while, like the things that you never expect me to watch, like the fucking polyamorous relationship joint. That that I watched more episodes than I expected to, but only like about three.
I think this is the best of them. I wouldn't
Okay.
recommend any of them to anyone, but I think Rent a Girlfriend, the animation is actually really good, and the script is actually really good, and the characters are interesting, even though it knows what it is. They're not giving you a harem and then trying to tell you that it's a plot about being in another world or something. Like the plot
Yeah.
is the girls. And by the way,
Yeah.
none of them want him. So it's a harem, and it's not really a harem. He just knows four girls. Like they're not all competing for him in any way. He's just using them in different ways. Um, so I'll move on, but that one I'm excited for that one.
Watch it.
Overlord. Did you ever see Overlord?
I did not watch Overlord.
Okay, you can see it's on season 4, so I think there's already like 39 episodes out. I would not recommend this to people, but I have seen all of it. But I'm
And
not
all of it?
but I'm not happy about it. Well, it's been 3 seasons over the course of like 7 years, so I've very casually seen it. But it's an isekai, so it has a ceiling, but it's
Yeah.
the the essential story is like it's kind of interesting. It's basically like this video game is ending. Like he plays this video game, and him and his like crew, like his friends, like all. It's not even his friends in real life. It's like an online crew. It like they're all kind of like they all like left one at a time, and now it's down to just him and like a couple people still playing the game, and they're gonna shut the server down forever at midnight. So he decides
Yeah,
like I'm gonna stick around with like this group of people, like like he basically they all made like NPCs that were like in their group or whatever. And long story short, it flips over to midnight and he's stuck in the game. He can't log out. Everything's changed, and none of his friends are there anymore. He was the last one of all of them, so he's like in this big palace that like him and his homies like created, and he's got like this squad of like seven NPCs that like serve underneath him that him and his homies like made. And
yeah.
the reason that it's different from other isekais is because he's kind of the bad guy. He immediately doesn't care about other human beings. He's this large skull-looking gentleman right here. So he looks
That's
like a
him.
giant. He looks like a giant skeleton dude, but
Yeah, Skeletor. That's
yeah,
just a. He's literally from a different cartoon.
he's Skeletor. But he's like crushing like human beings and murdering many people. And
Oh my.
like you're basically it's hard to tell who you're rooting for because he's the main character
Yeah.
and he's not a bad guy, so you're kind of rooting for him, but he's not malicious, he just still sees it as a video game. So he's just like it's like how you would act in Grand Theft Auto. Like he doesn't mind killing these people because he doesn't think that they're
I
real.
get that.
But in a sense, like you're watching him just like wipe out cities and towns of like like families.
Like Fable, where you could just run through and they can cheer for you or they can run from you,
Yeah.
depending on what your reputation is.
Yeah. So it's interesting, but I don't know. I'd give it like a 6 out of 10. Like
Damn.
it's not anything like I don't know. It's kind of the second season had more lizard sex than I would have liked, which is any
Oh
amount
well,
of lizard sex. There's at
yeah,
one point where there's just two lizards just
yeah.
you know.
I don't know if I need that.
I don't think I didn't. I was like, what's happening? But I powered
I don't
through.
know. I don't know if I needed that, buddy. I don't know.
Yeah, he takes over the lizard people and he kind of just checks in with his omnipotence and he's like, "Oh, they're banging. Interesting." Um,
I, yeah.
so I would
Somebody
say
wanted to draw
yeah,
that.
and apparently there was an audience that wanted to watch it. So I would say it's I would not invest in the fact that it's on its fourth season. I'd move right along.
Yeah. Move on. Move forward.
Had you heard about it? Do you remember it at all? Have you seen it?
What?
Overlord, do you remember it existing?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely remember it existed.
Interesting.
Just avoided it like repeatedly.
Yeah, probably a good call, I think. I don't know if I'll watch the fourth season, but it's there.
It's like an art style thing for me. It's pretty easy for me to tell if I'm like going to care about the characters. I hate that its drawing style it like actually matters, but like it really does. You can't draw it poorly and then expect me to care
No, the
or make
Saku
or draw it in a way that I don't connect. I don't mean drawn poorly. That's not fair. That's actually a really detailed
right.
art. I just
It's
I
well it doesn't really look like that picture. That's more of like a artistic kind of look on it, but it looks worse than that. So
works. It looks worse than that. Great. That's
yeah,
absolutely great.
it looks much less detailed than that. I would say the Sakugan Rent a Girlfriend is at a higher level for sure.
Yes.
Um, I'm gonna breeze through Classroom of the Elite. You can see my little red X. I've moved
Yeah.
on. I've moved on from that one. Um, this is another one where the first season was like 7 years ago and it was kind of popular, but it was pretty much just like rich kids going to an elite school to study to be elite, and then they think they're being given a bunch of money, and then after the first month they find out that they're not getting any more money because they were bad at using like they basically just all acted like the Greeks, and just like lived very frivolous lives, and they thought they just assumed that they were getting the same amount of money pumped into their bank accounts the next month, and then because they did so shitty on their tests and things like that, they didn't get any money. So this main character was smart enough to kind of like save, and he's kind of like the conniving type. And it's they're just trying to raise their students around them so that they can get from class D to class A and get more money and be more elite or whatever. But I wasn't into it.
That
So
doesn't. Yeah, that's all right. It's nice to know it exists.
it's I it's very Japanese brain. There's a lot of things there's a lot of things that are like rules, the anime, where I'm just like where it's the whole anime like Death Note did it really well, where Death Note was just like fuck, there's like 50 rules that I have to memorize and remember, but like there's other ones where it's just like okay, so I get this much in my bank account if we do this, and it just becomes like accounting the animation. And
RPG strategy
I uh,
manager.
I got enough accounting in business school at Michigan State. I'm all set currently on more accounting. Um, this one's I think this is the last of the sequels that are at the top. Made in Abyss is low key like fucking wild. Made in Abyss has like an 86%. It's one of the highest rated anime of all time. The drawing style makes you think that it's for little girls, but it literally has like torture and insanity in it. And it is, dude, it is one of the craziest setups. It's got some of the coolest world building ever. And it's wild. And this is the second season. But the first season, what have you heard of this? Do you know what I'm looking at with Made?
Yeah, yeah. Again, definitely heard of, but I feel like this is something that I may have watched very little just to see what in the hell it was. Like I think, yeah, with the little girls thing, it's like the drawing style is so like Pixar movie as.
Yeah, it really shocks you with how violent it gets. But um the main thing that was cool about this show was the world building. So essentially there is a town that lives on the outskirts of a giant hole in the ground, which is the abyss. And as you climb down the abyss, it gets like crazier and crazier. There's literally like tiers of it. There's like tier one where there's like some monsters, and then there's like tier two where it like gets more dangerous, and tier three, and like as you go on, it gets more dangerous and more unexplored. And it's literally like the people who go into the abyss are kind of they have like levels, like whistle levels. There's like black whistles and white whistles. It's you can think of it being similar to like Genin, Chunin, and Junin and things like that. But the thing that's crazy about it is as you go further into the abyss, they don't know. No one knows what's at the bottom because it's not how dangerous it is going down or how dangerous it is with the random creatures and things that attack you. But the really dangerous thing and why you have to be a certain level to go down tiers is it's called the curse of the abyss, and it's when you try to come back up. When you try to come back up from like the first level, you get like headaches and nausea and like things like that. When you come back from the second level, you get like full body aches and like serious pain. And we're only talking like the seventh level. By the time that you get to like the fourth level and you try to come back up, you're like bleeding out of like every orifice and you're like hallucinating and like it's the ascension back up that like kills people basically. So they don't know what's at the bottom because everyone who's ever gone to the bottom, by the time you get to like the bottom tier, which I think as of right now they think is seven or something like that, six or seven,
Mhm.
like you, there's no way to even like communicate with those people because there's no way for them to come back. And the messages that they send through like hot air balloons and stuff to get back up to the top, they can't even trust them because people's minds get so warped and insane when they go down there that you have no idea if the things that are being sent on these messages have anything to do with reality. And
Yeah,
so basically this little girl, her mom, she's like an orphan now, but like her mom was like top white whistle, Kakashi levels or whatever. And she's pretty sure that her mom is down there at the bottom of the abyss. And so she wants to
yeah,
get to the very bottom. Like she has no intention of coming back up. Like she wants to go see her mom. But in order to do that, she's got to scale down it with this other kid who's like a robot. And everything that I'm
yeah.
saying, as always, is in the first episode. So I'm not giving
Yeah.
any major spoilers. All of this is explained very early on. But um
Yeah. Well, out of everything, I would say that this one specifically has a really nice setup outside of looking at anything. Like, I haven't watched enough to remember anything, so let's just consider me a brand newbie. And I think that that was a really compelling case. I would say that I might have to check it out a little bit more aggressively because what is at the bottom of the abyss?
we don't know. And so
I
basically
don't
there
know.
there was one season that was 13 episodes that came out before this, and then a movie after that that also advanced the plot. So there's
Yeah,
effectively been like 17 or 18 episodes if you count the movie as like five. So it's not that hard to catch up, but it's a wild show, and it really catches you off guard because it looks like I'd never watched it before like 2 weeks ago because I thought it was like for little kids. Just looking at the art.
yeah. It does have a weird tone to it, but even still, like I just didn't know that I was supposed to care.
Yeah, the abyss is wild and terrifying. Maj and Ant Man. Oh man, you got the eyes too. That makes you like Dabura. You look like the devil man that was under
It's
Babidi.
your boy.
It's your boy. Hey y'all, it's your boy.
Needed something, you know. So here we are. This is it.
All right, so now we can finally get to the shows that I don't know anything about. And
All right.
I think that what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna read the brief paragraph on them and you're going to tell me how you feel about that. And hopefully
Yep.
we find a few that seem interesting to watch because just at a immediate scan, it doesn't look very promising to me, but we'll see.
All right.
Okay, so the most popular one that isn't a sequel is called Call of the Night. And if I
That's a song, right?
okay, so Call of the Night, racked by insomnia and wanderlust, Koyamori is driven onto the moonlight streets every night in an aimless search for something he can't seem to name. His nightly ritual is marked by purposeless introspection, sure, until he meets Nazuna, who might just be a vampire. I would say she's almost assuredly a vampire. I would guess that she's definitely a vampire. Ko's new companion could offer him dark gifts and a vampire's immortality, but there are conditions that must be met before Ko can sink his teeth into vampirism or vampirism, vamping. And he'll have to
Yeah.
discover just how far he's willing to go to satisfy his desires before he can heed the call of the night. Um,
Yeah. Definitely a vampire. She's a vampire.
okay, so so I think vampire vampire confirmed. A few red flags with this one. Just off the top of my head. First off, it's vampires. I'm not a huge vampire guy. I
Hard
can
sell. Hard sell.
I can deal with vampires. JoJo technically has vampires in it, although I'd argue that it's less vampire-y than other things because there's not a lot of
Yeah.
converting people or anything like that.
Yeah.
Castlevania was dope on Netflix. It's not really an anime, but it's anime adjacent.
Still
Um,
dope nonetheless.
there, Vampire Hunter was a cool movie in the '80s, but other than that, I do. I'm generally
Blade was
off.
dope.
Which one?
Blade was dope. Not the anime though.
Oh, you're talking about Blade, just like
Yeah,
Wesley Snipes
just a
Blade.
regular, yeah, just good
Yeah,
old
it's
my
like
man
okay,
Snipes
yeah,
Blade.
okay,
Like, you
yeah.
know what I'm
No,
saying? Like,
no one's arguing against Blade. I personally own the Blu-ray trilogy of Blade. We're all here for Blade.
you
Um,
know,
are you like me? Oh, Blood Lad was funny, but again, that they for me like vampire things can't be focused on the vampire part of it.
yeah.
Like I guess Castlevania is an exception, but like do you are you like me where you just see the word vampire and it's very hard to overcome that obstacle? I'm all vampired out.
Period. Yeah, I mean, I just want to be straight up and down with it. You know, like it was Twilight's fault. Luckily, I never cared for Twilight, but that is the original reason why I was just like, all right, and that's where we stopped. We are no longer going to make me care about a vampire thing. But there's been a couple of shows that grabbed me that I felt like the story was better than the baseline of needing to gross me out with like a whole bunch of vampire needs and urges and shit. Because it's really just gore and sex when it comes to vampires when it comes
That's
to TV. So
that's the thing with me is the needs and the urges. I'm not I
yeah,
need the story to be something more than that because the urges and
yeah,
needs, they like, I don't care about like I never saw Twilight. I never saw any of that. Despite
yeah. I
several
watched it post its popularity. I think I watched it to prove a point. Like I'll watch it. My girlfriend at the time, I was like, I'll watch it with you. We can watch Twilight. I'm one of those. I'm a
there's like
good one.
5
I'll,
of them. There's like
oh,
5
yeah,
movies.
that's a lot.
There's too many Twilights. But yeah, I never saw Twilight. I never saw True Blood, although my family was into it, and I know you made the website for that guy, which is my only connection to True Blood.
The True
Um,
Blood was kind of lit, and then making the website really solidified it in the Hall of Fames for me. So like, it
right.
doesn't really matter, dude. That True Blood is untouchable. Thank you very much,
Yeah.
Dennis
But
O'Hare. Shout outs.
let's see. It's made by Leiden Films. I forget how to announce that. I think okay, so they made Tokyo Revengers, the
Okay.
animation company, but they also made like the comically bad sequels to Berserk and Terraformers that everyone were just like, man, these look
Oh,
awful. So it could go either way with them.
Terraformers.
The first season of Terraformers
Terraformers
was
was a weird one.
Terraformers. The first season was actually okay, and then the second season, when these guys got their hands on it, was very, very bad.
Oh, the studio.
Yeah, the
These
studio
guys
changed.
got it in the second season. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's pain. Because I
yeah.
actually thought Terraformers was alright, but whatever. I was gonna let it slip anyways. I wasn't gonna watch it.
I like how purple and pink this is. I can
Yeah,
I can
good
deal
luck
with
for
that.
coloring.
So this being the most popular one of the season is kind of a I don't know.
That's a red flag.
That's a red
That's a pink
flag.
flag if I've seen
That's a
one
pink
for sure.
purple flag. I it's one of those ones where I'll watch the first episode just because it's apparently the most like popular one, but I doubt that I'm
Yeah,
getting very deep into this one. We'll see.
yeah,
We'll see. Um, what do you think? Is this a skip, pass, fail?
yeah. Doesn't like Made in Abyss was really, really, really like plaguing that one. I can't even. I don't even remember what was it called. End of the night.
Call of the night.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm straight.
End of the night. It's end of the night. We're gonna really breeze through. Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon season 4? Fuck that show. It's so
Yeah,
bad and so boring and so.
that's the legendary Grand Defender, I believe,
It's
of
the
that
legendary
genre,
Grand
that
Defender
subgenre.
for the
Yeah,
harem bullshit genre.
yeah, it is.
It's
It
so
is.
bad. It's yeah. All I remember is that this kid is in a dungeon trying to pick up girls, and he's extremely successful at it. So,
Oh man.
but he won't do anything with any of them, as is tradition.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Protagonist they'll never touch.
a lot of beach episodes. Yeah, I'm just gonna move. I've already got a little red X on that one, so I'm just gonna move on with my
Yeah.
life on that one. Let's see. Maybe I should get these like loaded in advance since my screen wants to make this a problem. Let's see. Get a couple of these going. Okay. So, okay, so this next one. When will Ayumu make his move? Okay,
Oh,
right off the bat, how are you feeling about when will Ayumu make his move?
look, man, like anime is very wide scoped. It is for everyone. It is not a genre. It has genres itself.
It is
Anime
a
is a medium,
it is not a genre,
right?
it is a lifestyle. Yeah.
Yeah. So for that reason, I'm out. But somebody else is in, and that's why it's here. Like millions of dollars to create this BS.
Well,
But you know what? It's somebody else's BS.
I'll read the paragraph out of respect. Ayuma
Respect out
Tanaka
of yeah, respect.
Ayuma Tanaka just fell in love at first sight with Hiroshi Yaotome, the head of the illegitimate shogi club. Okay, that's going to be a problem for me. And joined the shogi club. But Ayumu has vowed not to confess his feelings because he's a deeply repressed Japanese teenager until he can best Urushi, and he has a long way to go before he can stand up to her strategic brilliance. As Ayumu strives to beat his crush and confess, love becomes a battlefield both on and off the shogi board, while audiences wonder, when will Ayumu make his move? Okay, first off, this is the second description in a row that ended with the name of the show because the last one also
Genius.
ended with Call of the Night. So I'm
I
noticing
think they're really clever with that.
I'm
You know,
noticing a
they're just like
pattern.
let's let's really come full circle here. Let's make sure they really understand what we're talking about. No nuance, absolutely no subtlety,
No.
no spice.
So,
And you
so
know what? This is like a filler episode in any anime with any filler character that you would try to forget. But they've made a whole show out of it. Sorry.
it's a
All right, we
filler
said we
show.
were gonna the filler full show is filler.
Now,
The idea is filler.
couple of red flags with this one. First
I'm
off,
out of here. Let's
I'm
shut
going
it
to go
down.
ahead and answer the question of when will Ayumu make his move. Never.
Mhm.
He's not going to because if he makes his move, the show just sort of ends, right? Like if he's already made his move, you no longer have to wonder when he makes his move. So you either have to change the name of the show or it just
Yeah.
sort of ends. So I'm going to say he never makes his
Yeah,
move.
if we were at the beach, then we wouldn't have to be metal plated. It's
Precisely.
literally
Second problem is it's about shogi, which I is a game that or shogi, which is a game that I don't understand. And
me neither.
since I don't know the rules like this in mahjong, it's very difficult for me to watch these anime that are based around them because I don't know what's happening. And they don't really. It's not like Kuroko's
They're not gonna
basketball
teach you.
where they explain the keys of it. They just know that because you're a Japanese teenager, you know how to play shogi, and I don't. So that's going to be an issue for me.
Is that like a thing that they're still learning and like it's popular culture? They still play shogi?
I
Shogi? I don't
guess.
actually know how to pronounce it either. Is it a
I
soft
mean,
G or
if
not?
it's spelled like this, then it's shogi. Because
Shogi, right?
if it had a J, it'd be shoji in Japanese. But it's I'm gonna say it's shogi, but I'm also gonna say that I don't understand the rules or how to play shogi. So I'm thinking that oh, and it's
This is
silver.
the moment we've all been waiting for.
What's the moment
No,
we've all been
stop.
waiting for?
My YouTuber just my phone was supposed to be mega muted, and it just started playing a video that I didn't even ask to play.
Well, this is also a video that will not be asked to play by me. Is when will you make his move?
Yeah,
I
no, we straight on that.
I wish the best in life to everyone who wants to see it. I'm out. Let's see. The next one, oh my God. Okay, first off, with the length of the title, let's just see. Yup, light novel. Of course, it's a light novel. It's always, whenever you see something that's this long, it's never based off a manga. It's always based off a light novel. I'm
What's the
also
difference?
I'm also seeing that out of the six main characters, three of them are slimes and one of them is a proud wolf. So I'm also not thrilled there either. I'm trying not to just shit on all these shows because I don't like to just be like negative guy, but I am
Yeah,
growing weary of my isekai life. I gained a second character class and became the strongest sage in the world. There's so many OP isekai nonsense shows out there. This is the 100th one in the last 3 years. It's hard to get amped up for it.
yeah, it's more of like a palette thing. Like I've already satisfied that palette. I actually liked the slime joint, and that like I liked the slime joint. I was happy for that. I don't really need much else.
I couldn't do it. I watched like the first. I actually watched the first like season, and I thought it was okay, but then it was moving in a direction where I didn't care anymore.
It did, and it kept changing a little bit, but I tolerated it. I think I went full 3 seasons on it.
Getting isekai to a magical world and developing incredible powers is every otaku's wildest dream. That's facts. But for salaryman Yuji Sano, it's the stuff of absolute nightmare. He is in the middle of a mountain of work when he gets unwillingly pulled into a fantasy realm where he accomplishes the enviable feat of developing a second character class by making the most of monster tamer abilities. Now he's traded the office for adventuring to make a living, but he keeps getting roped into major events because his powers are unmatched, second to none, and he doesn't even realize it. Does that do anything
Oh
for you? Does that excite you?
no, dude, that's I'm so sorry. Like like we were saying earlier, it's not like our job to be negative towards it. It's just I feel like I want to communicate. I want to speak from the vantage point of other people who also have similar anime tastes. We're not that rare in terms of like this is kind of not really for me. There's probably going to be plenty of people that are just like, man, like I just would love to talk about and learn about the anime that actually would appeal to me rather than just being like I watch anime in general because again, like it's so wide scoped that you want to get something that's like actually gonna do some damage for you. And I feel like this is a little played out.
It's really
Like
played
why
out.
not just make something else?
There's
Make a
definitely going
new
to be
idea.
like there's going to be four more shows on this list that are a super strong kid gets sent to another world and he's stronger than everyone, and here you
Uh,
go. Yeah, I'm
it's
I'm
like,
moving.
you can't do two One Punch Mans. There's really only room for one.
One like Two Punch Man. Get out of here.
Singular Punch Man. Come on.
Singular One Punch Man. Okay, yeah, moving on from this one. Okay.
I don't know, Al. I don't know, bro.
My stepmom's daughter is my ex.
No, this is
Couple red
yeah, no,
flags with
that's
couple red flags with this one.
I think we know what websites these guys were on before they wrote this one.
Yeah, they were on the hub for sure because that's every other video on the hub right now is my
Da-dum.
yeah. So hold on. High school. Is there any better place to start fresh after a horrible middle school relationship? I would not know. I did not date anyone in middle school. Nope. Not unless your ex ends up at the same school as you and is now your step sibling. Okay, yeah, this is the hub. What was supposed to be a sanctuary of peace where I could avoid ever seeing. Okay, wait, hold on. This changed from being written in the third person to being written in the
The
first person.
first.
I,
Okay, I heard it. I
hold on,
was
that
like,
really
wait,
threw me off.
what?
That really threw me off because I was being the narrator, and then all of a sudden I was the boy.
You knew what you were doing, but you didn't realize it
Yeah,
until you did.
all of a sudden but now I am Pam. Yeah. So well, okay, hold on. So that really threw me off.
Wrote
What
this.
was what was him apparently? What was supposed to be a sanctuary of peace where I could avoid ever seeing her again has become a living nightmare. He's living in a living nightmare.
Living a living nightmare.
Everywhere I look, I see her in my house, in my school, in my class. There's no escape. She even claims that she's the older sibling. Fuck off. Like hell she is. But I won't lose to her. After all, I'm the older brother in this new family situation. That's right, we're family now. No matter how much we may have thought we loved each other before, we saw one another's true colors and we realized we weren't meant for each other. Oh, this keeps going. Wow. That's why, even though we may keep up a buddy buddy sibling act for the sake of our parents, things will never go back to the way they used to be. Except
Well, no, they shouldn't.
I have a sneaking suspicion that they will definitely go back to the way that they used to be.
They're gonna get kicked out of that house.
Oh man. There's
Or somebody's joining in. Whatever it is, it's not good.
well, they're not blood related.
I know that's always the reason that it happens.
Man, that's good. That's good news. It's good.
So proud of them.
So so all right, I'm gonna move on. But I mean, like, I'll probably watch the first like 4 or 5 episodes or whatever. But
Yeah. Season, I'll watch the one season just to make sure. But problem.
God damn it, harem, harem in the labyrinth of another world. So this is all the things that we've been already complaining about, which is harems and the other world. Um,
Literally together now.
yeah, I guess
We're just. You can't pay us to do this. Are you serious?
it's
I
by
only see one more tab open, and you're just telling me that it's like Super Saiyan 4, all of them.
well, I mean, there's more tabs to be opened. I just opened like 5 at a time, is not to overload things. But I like that their names are Alan, Sherry, and Roxanne. That's good. Not a lot of Allens running around anime.
What year is it?
It's Passion Studios, which is like It's like basically hentai, but not really that kind of a thing. So like they made interspecies reviewers just to give you an idea. I don't know if you remember that show, but that was like straight up hentai. Interspecies reviewers is actually funny. It's literally these guys that go around and they bang different species and then they write an article reviewing it. And they're like, this is what it was like to bang like the lizard people. This is what it was like.
Right.
It was actually
I'm
really
sure Space
funny.
Dandy could have gone that direction if he wanted to. He was
Well,
pretty obsessed with
it
aliens.
was also really funny because it was like actually half hentai. Like they showed a lot of like breasts and things like that, and they showed a lot of the sex scenes. And Funimation was like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" Because they paid for it and they were like, they were like showing it like it was on Funimation, and then Funimation
Yeah.
was like, "Did you guys sell me a hentai? Is that what happened?" And so they dropped it after like 3 episodes or something like that, and they got really confused and concerned about it. But so there was a whole thing where Funimation like abandoned them. But yeah, it's definitely it's as close as you can get to being on the line of like, is this porn or not? But this show,
Still
on the
worked.
other
It
hand,
got him a
um,
Ferrari.
well, it got me a
Uh,
Camaro. Struggling with life and society, high school student Michio Kaga. Wait, that's way too close to Michio Kaku.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, the world-renowned physicist Michio Kaku? No,
It's been a
Michio.
while since I've heard his name, but I heard it immediately. I
Yeah,
was like, we should go see if he's okay. Did he?
yeah.
Is he all
I think
right? Did
he's
he?
good. He's good. He's putting out books still. Michio Kaga wanders about the internet and lands on an odd website. Sure. The website, featuring a number of questions and a point-based system, allows one to create skills and abilities for a character. Upon completing his character, Kaga was transported to a game like Fantasy World and reborn as a strong man who can claim idol level girls. Thus begins the cheat and harem legend of a reborn man. Yeah. Okay. Moving along.
How? It's like a joke. The way that it transformed, the way that it turned immediately right at just at the light and became exactly what I thought you were setting me up for something like else, and it just did it
No,
again.
it was exactly what we were talking about. It's so funny that it's just like it's like
He gets immediately transferred. It's like they didn't. There was no finesse there, dude. They
well,
just went
even the
there.
title is just like bunch of chicks in another world. Like like the title just like five girls not where you're from. Like have at it. It's just
Just
it's
let anime Hollywood needs to just let us in, bro. Like, come on, because you're just recycling it just like everybody else. Like, give us something else.
that was
We
very
got you.
that was very not exciting. Shadow's House second season. I don't remember the show, to be honest. I know it was like recent. I think that it was like a weird house where there was, I don't know, it was like a mystery supernatural, something about ghosts and haunting or something. I didn't watch this, so I'm not going to pretend to know what Shadow's House is, but I'm moving on with my life.
Yeah, crying a little bit from
Now this is something. Ruby is coming out as an anime.
can't do it.
Um, what do you remember
I
about
can't
Ruby?
read it. I can't read it. Ruby? What
That's
what
what's
season are we in?
no, it's new. It's an anime. Like they
So now we're season one started over. No 3D or 3D.
No, this is 2D. This is made by Shaft Studios, which is actually a very popular older one. They've been around forever. They made like Monogatari, like
Yeah.
they've made some big ones. So
So they made it.
yeah, and this is not being made by Rooster Teeth. Like this is not the original squad. Like they sold their property to a Japanese studio. So this
Oh,
I don't know what Ant's gonna say
I
about
don't.
this.
Am I clapping?
Yeah,
Am I really, really, really proud of them right now?
that's what I'm saying. So for those who don't know, Ruby is made by a group of Americans called Rooster Teeth. Rooster Teeth became famous when I was in high school because they made Red vs. Blue, which was those really funny like Halo videos where they would just record Halo and then dub over it. And
Genius.
it's really funny. But it was like peak internet in like 2003. So Rooster
Yeah.
Teeth got famous off that, and they did a whole bunch of other stuff. But when this first came out in like I want to say like 2013 or something like that, I remember we were like, this isn't amazing like the way that it looks, but we were like really just like we were like rooting for them because it was like
Yeah.
it's our like dream. It's like a group of
Yeah.
like Americans
Proof.
that got on Crunchyroll. They made a story, they got it animated, and it got on Crunchyroll, and people liked it, and the music was fucking sick. The music is
Yeah.
awesome in Ruby. And I recently found out that the girl who did the theme song for Ruby was 15 years old. And I thought she was like as good as Paramore. I was like, this is
Yeah,
fucking
that's what
sick.
came to mind, Paramore. That's
Yeah.
impressive. She's
Dude, yeah,
very
so she was
talented.
just crushing it at 15. But I don't know, this is really exciting for me. So the original person who created it, I'm sure it'll be down here. This guy, he unfortunately passed away a few years ago. He's like an American guy who he was the one who originally made the story. He passed away probably like 6 or 7 years ago. But yeah, it's really crazy that this got turned into a real anime. Like they really did it. So I'm really rooting for them. I'm excited to see it. It's not like the most like insane sci-fi plot or anything, but I just want to see how it
Yeah,
goes.
that's so amazing. I'm really, really happy with them. Very proud.
I think from what I understand, they're gonna try to make a new story. Like, there's already been like 8 seasons, but they're gonna try to kind of like brush through that in like just a few episodes to get people caught up, and then they're gonna move on with their own thing. So I don't think it's like a reboot. I think it's a new story. But man, yeah, I'm just really proud of the Rooster Teeth folks for it took 10 years, but now they're with Shaft Studios. That's crazy. So I'm excited to check this one out. Okay,
There you
back
go. That's a switch up.
Yeah, back to the trash. Um, we'll
Oh man.
we'll blow through some of these. Let's see what's going on. Oh God, they're getting worse. Okay. Well, actually, I don't think they're getting worse because the ones we were watching were literally living in a living nightmare. Engage Kiss. Okay. Let's see. The anime is set in Bailong City, an artificial island city established outside of any country's jurisdiction in the Pacific Ocean to exploit local natural resources. Okay, it's fine. In particular, the mining of a new energy resource called orgonium has resulted in an outbreak of disasters by demons in the city. Private military companies, PMCs, are tasked with dealing with these incidents. The protagonist Shu runs a small PMC, though his spending habits have left him constantly penniless. A demon girl named Kisara does contract work at Shu's office and is constantly worried for him. Kisara attends a high school in Bailang City and does everything from clerical work to household chores with confidence. Meanwhile, Ayano is Shu's ex-girlfriend. This is a lot. Really, an elite agent and a former work colleague in a major PMC that Shu used to work for. So I got bored reading the paragraph, which I got like actively bored just trying to read the sentence. But
Yeah.
it's A1 Pictures who are good. A1 does everything. Like A1 is like I mean, A1 did like Blue Exorcist and Sword Art Online and Darling in the Franxx and Erased and Magi and like A1 Pictures does all of it. They're with Aniplex. Aniplex. Um, it's an
Love me
original.
some.
I like that. Like Gargantua was an original. It's not based off a
Hell
manga.
yeah, Gargantia. Good call. Just a
Yeah,
good random callback. That was dope. So dope.
yeah. So does it look very exciting? No, but it's an original by A1 Pictures, so it has a chance at least having an ending. That's one thing that I like about the original shows is they're not coming from a comic book that's designed to run forever. So there's a chance that it will end and that it might be good, but it doesn't look great, but I would definitely take it over the harem bullshit that we already saw.
Yeah, at least it didn't devolve into a harem after all of that setup. Because I heard like two or three girlfriends, so
I don't know.
don't act like I didn't.
I'm seeing three girls, so we'll see. And
Yeah,
one's an ex-girlfriend and one is a
yeah.
assistant. We'll see. But yeah, man. I can't wait to write something that isn't a harem and just be the only thing that isn't a harem isekai.
It's gonna be really easy to stand out, apparently.
We should have an episode though where Dots gets or someone gets isekai'd into a harem.
Probably, yeah, probably somehow. Like, I don't know
Or
how, but
when Slate comes when Slate comes back, we'll be like, yeah, I got isekai into a harem and he was living a whole isekai harem life.
it
We
can
didn't
be
know.
a back. You can tell us what happened.
Yeah. Okay. This will be like a great little Easter egg. Us talking about this in 10 years when we're rich and famous and everyone knows what I'm talking about.
There it is.
Okay, I'm gonna move on from Engage Kiss. Vermeil in gold. Man, does that art not look good? Look at this woman. It doesn't look appealing at all.
It's like they're learning to draw women.
It's like they're fucking with me, making the same bad show over and over.
Yeah, a little
For
bit.
Meet Alto, a hapless student at Royal Ortega Magic Academy whose academic performance leaves much to be desired. Rather than take a more sensible approach to salvaging his grades in time for graduation, Alto decides to summon a bit of otherworldly assistance. Only after does he learn he's bound the legendary she-devil Vermeil into service as his familiar. But while Vermeil is a powerful ally, sure to turn his grades around, her magic can only be replenished with a kiss. And that makes everything go to hell with Alto's jealous childhood friend, Lilia. I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and just move on. Let's just move on. Okay. I love when the title of the show is just a sentence. Like it makes me laugh every time. The maid I hired recently is mysterious. This is like a sentence that would be in Rosetta Stone. I like that I didn't give you a chance to talk about the last one. I'm trying not to talk 90% of the time, but I just inherently assume that you have not much to say on the
You don't
last.
want me to say anything. You don't want me to say anything. You just be happy that I'm here talking to you, listening, and
Right.
tolerating all of this crap, dude. It's crap, man. Where is where's the shonen? Is there one?
There's nothing for 35-year-old men. It would appear this season in anime other than a couple of sequels. Um, there's something really strange about the maid I just hired. No normal person could be so beautiful or cook such amazingly delicious food or know exactly what I want before I even ask. She must be using magic, right? A spell is the only thing that explains why my chest feels so tight whenever I look at her. I swear I'm going to get to the bottom of what makes this maid dot 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 so mysterious. Again, I like
Dude,
that
you're
they.
probably just he's probably just horny and he doesn't know what that feels like yet.
Yeah, because I'm looking at him and he looks about 7 years old, so I can see him
What?
creeping. Look at him creeping in the background.
Oh my god. Are you telling me that like
Yeah, he's creeping.
that a little kid hired this maid?
I mean, I don't know if he hired her. I mean, yeah, I guess it
That's
says
the title of
yeah,
it.
it says I just hired the maid. You're right. It is. You're right. I should have read the title of the show.
What is even effing going on, dude?
That's
What is
correct.
actually
That's correct. He hired her. Um, I love that the description is like, oh, there's an unsettling feeling in my pants, and I'm not quite sure what's happening, but this busty maid that I've hired seems to be related to it. Um, all right, man, come on. Okay, actually seen. So my judge of how popular a manga is if I've seen it at Barnes and Noble, and I have seen this one at Barnes and Noble. So
you've been to Barnes and Noble in the last 3 years.
dude, I go to Barnes and Noble all the time. I'm a Barnes and Noble guy.
Barnes and Noble is still noble. I thought it stopped being noble
Dude,
years ago.
Narns and Boble. Look, I know in Hollywood you got a lot of fun things to do, but here we got Barnes and
I thought
Noble.
they like shut it down, dude. Like I could have swore we had one and it's gone because I thought Barnes and Noble took the fat Amazon Kindle L, dog. I just thought that they were done.
Barnes and Noble and Amazon have the same prices for manga essentially. The only difference
Okay.
is that if you buy it from Barnes and Noble, you can make sure that it's not in like horrible condition. So I
All right.
actually like getting it from Barnes and Noble. First off, because call me old fashioned, I like just walking and looking around at the books. But
Yeah,
like also it's the same price and you can make sure it's not bent to shit before you get it. Um
that's fair.
so okay. So the center of this art first off looks intriguing to me. It looks
Yeah,
insane. Uncle from Another World is a funny name. I'm down. I'm here.
good name. Still here.
17 years ago, Takafumi's uncle fell into a coma, but now he's back like a man risen from his grave. Soon, Takafumi discovers two bizarre things. His uncle treasures video games above all else, and while comatose, he was actually transported to another world as some heroic guardian. Now, not only does Takafumi have to room with an uncle who is literally magical, he also has to catch the guy up on 2 decades of history, smartphones, high speed internet, modern anime tropes, and the traumatic outcome of the 90s console war. Okay, so the last sentence actually intrigues me because that means there's going to be a lot of Sega references, and I love Sega.
Tons.
I will do
Yeah,
anything that, God, I
Sega
would,
lost, but it was good. What was that one that was like a whole metaphor about the Sega versus Nintendo
dude,
anime?
that one was so bad, but I literally own the entire manga. This,
It was kind of great though, wasn't it? Like it was
well,
disastrously took like
it,
kind of terrific.
it only had 3 episodes, and they released like one every like couple months because they were clearly just like living paycheck to paycheck.
I can't hear you. Your mic seems muffled suddenly.
My mic seems muffled. Interesting.
It's back
Um,
now.
okay, it's back now. Uh, 1 second. You are referring to World War Blue, which I
World War Blue.
which I found the entire set of all 10 mangas at a bookstore used for like $1 each. So I bought them because I actually wanted to know what was happening between their Sega Nintendo nonsense. But
Yeah,
anyway, I think that this is the first one where I'm like, okay, I'll watch that. I'll watch the first episode.
I'm so far like absolutely no red flags. This is
I
a red flag season, but this one's okay.
it seems like it's going to be like, the kind of like a comedy thing when they're talking about getting him up to date with like smartphones and stuff. But like this art looks cool. Like it looks
Yeah,
like the art looks cool, and they're going to talk about Sega. And I've seen the manga at Barnes and Noble, so that's a huge 3 green lights for me.
yeah.
I've never heard of this studio, this Alteller Pone Dark. I don't know what studio
That's
that is.
weird.
Um, but
Can we get
yeah.
a trailer?
Oh, it looks like it's going to be a Netflix jail. Oh, you know what? I think actually this is changing the game with Netflix. I read that Netflix starting this season is going to finally not have Netflix jail, and they're going to release episodes 1 week at a time like Crunchyroll. So we no longer have to wait for all of it to come out in Japan. We can finally watch
And then
it.
they just drop the full season when they have the full season. They're gonna do the sequential thing like this, episodic. I guess I can't actually hear through your machine, but it's okay. I'll go off visuals.
I too will go off
And
of visuals.
I don't think your podcast will pick this up either because we didn't wire. No, we did. We wired the web browser.
No, it works. I recorded the other day.
トラックにはねられ17年間昏睡状態だった王子が目覚めた。
Oh, nice. That's an interesting style. That wasn't 3D, was it?
イレルラーズ、グランバハマル、トナ、ガルトエバーリレクス。
頭がおかしくなっていた。あのさ、おじさんの異世界での仲間ってどんな人たちだったの？
特に攻撃的なやつがいてな。毎日まとわりついてきて嫌がらせっていうか、俺が何やっても人格否定とか罵倒とかしてくるんだよ。
触らないで、勘違いしないで。
What do you mean?
あんたみたいな大久顔と一緒で吐かずにいられるのは私ぐらいのものね。
とにかく嫌がらせの言葉がひどいんだ。適当な街で巻いて逃げたよ。
ツンデレ概念の一般化は2004年頃。 おじさんが旅立った4年後である。
異世界おじさん。
Sometimes video games.
違うわよ。ずっと一緒にとか変な意味に取らないでよ。
Okay, okay, I've seen enough. The trailer didn't do a lot for me, but could you hear the audio at all? The
No,
audio
but
is
I kept thinking I could hear something, but it wasn't close enough to me.
the audio is actually cool and a good little bass line. It's like ding, 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 ding. It has like a little like primacy. So I'm gonna give this one a chance. We'll see. Hopefully it's cool. I'm not gonna let them
Yeah,
trick.
we're rooting for it.
Yeah, I'm rooting for it. That's the best way because I got to root for something. Let's see what we're going to. The Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting. This seems like a blatant ripoff of The Way of the House Husband.
Yeah.
Is this not the same thing? The Way of the House
Yeah,
Husband.
that's definitely that.
The Way of the House
But you know,
Husband.
like it's the same shit though. Like, is it at least by the same people? You know, because otherwise it's just like hearing a pop song and then releasing another pop song that like it, but
No,
not it.
it's not by the same people. It's I would be interested to see which one the manga came out first for, so I know who's boosting who. But
Yeah, true.
let's see. Kirishima Toru is the right-hand man of the Sakurugi crime family. For him, the job is a perfect excuse to let his violent instincts run wild, earning him the nickname the Demon of Sakurugi. It seems like nothing will stand in the way of his vicious nature, but then one day he receives an assignment like never before from the boss, babysitting his fucking daughter. This is the heartwarming, or is it blood-curdling? Probably heartwarming would be my guess. Between the two story of a little girl and her yakuza caretaker. And this, I'm not gonna watch this, but I'm rooting like hell for it because I've already seen the
Yeah,
way.
why
I've
not?
already seen the way of the house husband, so I don't need to watch this. Um, way of the house husband is actually extremely funny, but this is not.
It's a good gimmick. Like,
Yeah,
you know, like it's good for the laugh of the situation of it all, which is kind of why, you know, like Blood Lad. Like I kind of got Blood Lad mixed up with the Devil's a Part Timer a little bit in my memory since it's been so long ago when I was watching both of them.
those ones are both really funny. Um,
Yeah,
I would choose Devil's a Part Timer. But Bloodlet is another one where I'm like, please give me the second season. Like they left off on like
gotcha.
a huge plot twist, and like it was kind of like Hunter x Hunter where they're like, all right, we're going to the next world, and then you just never saw it again.
Yeah.
So that's another one that's gonna make me turn to manga. We're gonna blast through these. I think we're almost done here. Like Koros Recoil. Laiko Rico is a cafe with traditional Japanese twists located in downtown Tokyo, but the delicious coffee and sugary sweets are not the only orders this cafe takes, from delivering packages
Uh,
short distances to pickups and drop-offs on okay, so it's UPS, the anime. Oh wait, to zombies and giant monster extermination. Whatever your problem, we're here to help. This is the first one where I'm just gonna be like blah 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 blah. Petite girl never wants to work and wants to get married, and someone wants to get married.
what?
I don't know.
What about what? What in the buzzword was this? What are you talking about, dude? Like you just
Zombies, yada yada yada. Ever smiling poster girl, yada yada yada. A woman approaching 30 who wants to get married, yada yada yada.
those aren't. These are just like this. This is a brainstorm session into a description. Like they were
Oh,
just like, all
it's a
right, so we got like all these sticky notes, and I think it actually says a paragraph. So let's just like write it.
it's a Mad Libs. It's like where
It
you just
is. It is Mad Libs.
yeah.
It's Mad Libs.
And it ends with just an offshoot sentence at the end. And the manager is a nice guy who's obsessed with Japan. It's like okay,
No, no.
all right.
No, who is writing all? We try so hard to write compelling descriptions, like the elevator pitch, the synopsis, the log lines. Like we really go hard with that stuff. Who's writing this stuff? How much are they getting paid?
I don't know, man. This is
Maybe it's
bad.
because they're not getting paid enough. I
The
think
only
Animeism should just be or like a some sort of non-charity organization who just fights to get animators and writers and everybody compensated better. So that we like maybe we should just change our whole goal to just try to improve the quality of anime, period, rather than making it more popular, which is obviously here, we should just help make it not be bad
So you want to go
before
from
before everybody hates it.
so you're changing the direction of animism from growing the medium to becoming a union, basically. You're gonna try to
Yeah, I
you
think we
want
need to unionize anime immediately,
okay.
like before it's like way too late.
All
Because
right.
like I know a couple of professional animators, and they are irritated right now, and I think that they would be all game. And I think before it's too late, before Netflix destroys and dilutes the entire pool, we should probably just jump in and create a union, and then
I don't
and then get trapped in a video game, and then inside the video
that
game
would be
will
yeah, we're gonna try to make a
use the
union.
union.
We're gonna end up getting isekai to another world where we have a harem and we're OP as fuck. Um okay, moving right along.
That almost sounded good at first, and then you just literally just spit out bullshit at the end for like I was so into it for a split second. I was like, okay, let's go. Two in a row. What?
Zombies, yeah, all right. Wait, she's 30 and so okay. Um
Manager's a nice fucking guy.
God, this is a goddamn long. This is another thing where it's a fucking novel to tell me about Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer. What that means?
No,
I no, that's a Mad
no,
Libs. That's a Mad Libs. Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer. That's words that's not a sentence. That's just words being
that's a rap.
combined.
That's a rap name generator right there
It is.
for
It
sure.
is. Little Biscuit Hammer. All right.
Little biscuit.
Little Biscuit, the least intimidating rapper of all time. Little Biscuit. Who was the one that Drake crushed? The one from Philadelphia that Drake just like destroyed his life with the fuck, it's gonna kill me. Do you know what I'm talking about? Back to
Not
back.
talking about Meek Mill, are you?
Yeah, I am talking about Meek
You are
Mill.
talking about Meek
Lil
Mill.
Biscuit reminds me
Little
of
Meek.
Meek Mill, like the the other least intimidating rap name I've ever heard. Okay,
Oh, I don't even. Yeah, okay. Anyways, why did he name himself that though? Like seriously, like
why
why?
did he try to
Seriously,
go after Drake and then get annihilated by Drake?
nobody's even been put in the ground by Drake before, so that was a thing that we hadn't seen.
Yeah, he got bodied by a singing rapper. He got that was back to back was one of the most cold blooded things I've ever experienced.
But
But
I'm gonna listen to that after we're done.
yeah, that one's
I'm gonna
great.
make sure I get back to back in my life.
You have to listen to it twice because it's back to back.
It's
Um,
cute. I'm ready.
it's short too. Okay. One day, college student Yui Amamiya, Yuhi Amamiya, is approached by talking lizard. All right, we're really getting into the weeds here. Sir
25% down.
Sir Noi Crescent. Crescent immediately launches into a fantastical story. The powerful mage Animus intends to destroy the Earth with his biscuit hammer, a huge contraption looming high in Earth's orbit. Earth's only hope lies with the princess and her beast knights, which is capitalized, whose task is to protect the princess and defeat Animus. Yuhi is chosen as the lizard beast knight, and despite his misgivings, is quickly forced to defend himself from a golem created by the mage. He is saved by his neighbor, the princess Asahina Samadare, and swears loyalty to her. However, the princess does not intend to save the Earth at all. She lets Yuhi in on her real motivations to prevent Animus from destroying the Earth, only then to annihilate the planet by her own hand. So she wants to save the Earth so that she can herself destroy the Earth. Uh,
Who
the
cares?
pair continue to fight off attacks by Animus golems, while the remaining Beast Knights are slowly being gathered and learning to use their powers. But Yuhi will have to decide for himself whether to go along with Asahina's plans. I feel like he shouldn't. He should not destroy the Earth, whom he is getting close to, or save the Earth. In the process, he must also confront his true self and determine where his loyalties truly lie. I feel like that was
You ever
really.
feel like you told me too much? Like when you're writing this, you ever feel like you
I
maybe wrote
I feel like
too much?
we're at like episode 7 already. We've
That
already
was like so descriptive and not. They just kept having proper nouns. You know, you mentioned when it was capitalized. I
sure.
literally can't see capitalization from where I'm at, but so I'm just like tripping on the like.
they're like, so you see, he will have to then make a choice. It's like, yeah, I know. I understand. I get that he's gonna have to make a choice. That's clearly what the plot is. Yeah, the last like four sentences that were. No, I don't think you get it. He's the lizard beast knight. I don't think you're understanding. He likes this girl, but she wants to destroy the earth.
He wants to, and like they really made her dynamic. She wants to stop the Earth from being destroyed so she can do it.
Man, all right.
God,
Yeah,
that is compelling.
all
I am
right.
compelled.
I am compelled to click this X and move on to Black Summoner.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, if it starred
I
Martin
helped.
Lawrence, if it starred Martin Lawrence, I'd be a lot more into it.
The Black Knight spinoff, the
Yeah,
Black
Black
Summoner.
Summoner, just Martin
He's
Lawrence in
the
a in a
summoner.
in a green number 23 football jersey.
The summoner.
The Black Summoner. Or it could be
Not
seen
black.
another
One
direction.
1 point down. He's not black.
He's not black. Well, maybe he summons black. Maybe the people that he summons are black.
That's definitely a red flag. And
He's
also like black clover, not black, so like they got put in the bag early too.
Yeah.
Like it's just like just stop calling things black if it doesn't really.
Yeah.
I don't see much more than black hair. Like what's up, guys? Like we what's
Black
up?
Butler, not black.
Not black.
Yeah,
Dude,
no.
like, and
I
you
thought
don't think that it's ironic? Like, could there be one Black Butler in Black Butler at least?
no, not even Jeffrey from Fresh Prince. That's
Not even fucking Jeffrey.
not even Jeffrey. Or darker than black, which sounds like an insult to me. They're like, "Oh, you think
Yeah.
you're
Hey,
black?
no.
You
Yeah.
thought you were black. You
That's
should see this guy who's not black."
that's colorism written all over it, and I'm not even trying to get into that bag right now.
Blacker than black. Okay, God damn it. Waking up in a strange new place with no memory of his past life. Kelvin, all right, that's funny. Kelvin learns that he's bartered away his very memories in exchange for powerful new abilities during his recent transmigration. Heading out into a whole new world as a summoner, a black summoner, with his first follower being the very goddess who brought him over. Okay, so it's all of them. It's Konosuba, it's dungeon harem. Right? Kelvin begins his new life as an adventurer, and isn't long before he discovers his hidden disposition as a battle junkie. From the Black Knight. Okay, maybe it is Black Knight. Because they capitalized it, so maybe
There's a Black Knight.
maybe Martin Lawrence is in it. From the Black Knight of the ancient castle of evil spirits to the demon within the hidden cave of the sage, he revels in the fight against one formidable foe after another. Join this OP. I love that they just say OP. Join this OP adventure in an exhilarating and epic saga as he and his allies carve their way into the annals of history.
All right. They only took like two red flags. I feel like our rating system should be actually a negative based rating system where we're just saying we cancel things, we just skip at 3. Like that's 3 red flags, we're out. And there's certain times where it's 1 red flag and we're just like that's 3 flags in one, so we're just out.
I give this my best rating ever. 6 red flags.
We need the red flag fucking rating system, dog. Because like, what's going on? That's what they need from us.
Yeah.
They need help. They need help filtering through the mess. And
Yeah.
we're here to do it. They only got 2 red flags out of 3, so I'm gonna give this one a 3 episodes.
Yeah, if I don't see Martin Lawrence by episode 4, I'm turning it off. But I'm just letting them know that if they want to go ahead and fix that, like they fixed Sonic, like before it came out. If they just want to make sure that Martin Lawrence gets in there.
Yeah, even if they have to add him in post as like a CGI reindeer, like I'm okay with that.
I know that obviously I'm, speaking tongue in cheek, but would we not all enjoy an anime that had Martin Lawrence in it for some reason? Would that not take over the community?
For some reason, we would definitely do it. Yeah.
All right.
We would get behind it.
Okay.
Especially if it was like, action based.
And starring Martin Lawrence.
He's just good at yelling, like I don't want to lose that. That's all.
What the problem is Um, just say him saying what the problem is to a bunch of OP Japanese teenagers in another world. I'm in for it. Isekai Yakyoku. This one looks pretty bad. This is the least exciting of the artwork that we've seen so far. Um,
Not the
again,
worst, but least exciting.
like 7 sentences. A young pharmacologist and researcher in Japan died from overworking and was reincarnated in a medieval parallel Europe. They have that capitalized, medieval parallel Europe, and I actually think that that's a,
Hey, that's 2 red flags with me
I
already.
think that's an
Yeah, I'm out. The second flag was worth 2 flags. That's 3 flags. I'm out.
You wouldn't listen to a band called Medieval Parallel Europe? I would.
Oh yeah, no, I would,
Uh,
and I would actually. They have a much greater chance of me listening to that on Spotify
they
than
would
watching one
definitely
of those.
be opening for Polyphia and Sean if they were Medieval Parallel Europe. Um,
Yeah, that's totally fine.
is reincarnated as a 10-year-old apprentice to a famous royal court pharmacist and blah blah blah. In a society in which dubious medical practice are rampant, price gouging through the monopoly of the Pharmacists Guild and good medicine aren't available to commoners. He was recognized by the emperor. Okay, so this is like okay, Jesus Christ. So this is like Martin Scully, the anime, like that evil guy that raised the price on prescription medicine and then bought that Wu Tang album and went to jail. This is
Yeah, that thing.
this is like he's like fighting that guy essentially. He's fighting price gouging and the monopoly in another world. Do it in our world. Like,
Yeah,
don't get
actually.
isekai into another world and do this. Do this in our world. Like we need this in the current world first. Don't go
Yeah.
helping another world. Fix the
Don't go
monopoly.
dreaming. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Like, just stick around to the current.
Yeah, fix the price gouging through the monopoly here. Then go get isekai as a 10-year-old or whatever it is that makes you happy. All right, I'm moving on.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Okay,
Okay, all right.
okay. Yeah, we both saw
What?
this art and we were like, all right, all
All
right.
right,
Okay.
mohawks and blood and shit. Let's fucking
Man,
go.
someone's
I'm
gonna get.
back.
There's gonna be a fight. Okay, cool. Shine on Bakumatsu Bad Boys is this like
Yeah, bad
Bill
boys.
Bill
So
Lambier.
Martin Lawrence.
Well, okay, Martin Lawrence for sure, but I was actually thinking the Bad Boys Pistons. I was thinking like Joe Dumars,
Oh,
Isaiah Thomas. We might get some Vinny the
yeah.
Microwave. Okay, in the era when samurai controlled Japan, the masked demons annihilated all but one member of the Shinsengumi who had worked to maintain the peace and public order in Kyoto. 7 criminals are chosen as substitutes for the deceased Shinsengumi members, and they are led by Ichiban Boshi. It's a great name, Ichiban
Oh
Boshi.
yeah.
Ichiban
Yeah.
Boshi, whose parents were also killed by the masked demons, he becomes a substitute for Commander Isamu Kondo and goes after the masked demons with the other substitutes to avenge his parents' death. Former criminals rise up to restore peace and order as their crazy story begins. Now is the time to shine the brightest. All right.
Dude, well written.
Yeah.
Like that was dope.
Okay, that's fine.
What's
That's
go
good.
what's so hard? Also, can we just note that what was his name again? Ichiban who?
Ichiban Boshi.
He's just number one Boshi, like
Yeah.
Boshi number one.
Yeah.
Like
Ichiban Boshi. Yeah. He's the number
yeah,
one
he
Boshi.
definitely is. He's winning big time. This is my number one that I didn't know was gonna be on the list.
Yeah,
Easy.
shine on Bakumatsu Bad Boys. So, that's cool. I'm in. Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm in.
All right.
I'm not even hopeful. I actually think that it's going to be decent.
No, that's fine. It's so far down the list. That's funny. Like it's like, well, it's a lot more popular if you want to make a pharmacist isekai, like or
Pharmacist isekai with a narrative on correcting capitalism and like corruption. Like, no, dude, like we don't need that. You're
in a
just grabbing sticky notes off of the wall and making anime out of them, dude. Like,
these are some sequels we can blow past. Orient. I did not see the first season of Orient. I don't know what Orient is. I've moved on with my life. If it's a sequel and it's this far down the list, it's definitely no one cares about it because any sequels that are popular are at the top of the list. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that I'm not watching Orient. Love Live Superstar 2. This is like the 90th Love Live thing. That's just idol nonsense. Not too many idols so far. We've seen a lot of isekai, not a lot of singing magical girls. So
Yeah, what's the word I want to say? The tide, the anime tide. I needed to get to a tide. I needed to create a tide. Actually, there it is. Got it.
What's that? You know,
It
look
worked though.
look at
So
my
get
arm.
off my ass, huh?
What words do you think of when you see my arms do this? Um, what
This
yeah.
it's the tide, you know.
Okay, there's Uta Waru. Whoa, say that one. Uta Ware Rumono, Mask of Truth. This is a sequel. This came out in like 2006. This one was like
Heard about.
I've heard of it. I saw the first episode a long time ago. I just remember that the one dude wakes up and he doesn't have his memories and there's the mask is like stuck to his face and he can't get the mask off. I stopped watching it because it looked boring, just like the way it was taking place. It was like kind of like in the era of like riding horses from town to town, and I was yawning, and I think I just turned it off. So I'm gonna move on. Drop kick on my devil X. Uh, I remember that being like a bunch of cute girls and one of them summoned the other one and then they had to live with each other even though they hated each other and they were trying to kill each other, but it was like a comedy thing. I don't know. Don't care. Moving on.
That's something. Somebody might enjoy that.
Yeah, I mean it's the third season, so there's been someone cares.
Somebody cares.
Not me though.
What's that sport one down there? Is
Oh
that
man.
sports? That's a sports T-shirt.
I think you got a jersey on? Wait, what do you
is that? What kind of
Hey,
T-shirt do you guys?
we
Where'd you get
running
that
shirts
from?
and skins? What are we doing? What are we playing? Who is it? Okay,
Or mesh? You got nylon? What you got?
Okay, I think we've got into the magical girls portion of the journey. League of Nations Air Force Aviation Magic Band Luminous Witches.
Okay. Well, see,
League
once again, you've done the thing.
League of Nations Air Force Aviation Magic Band Luminous Witches.
They didn't even have to say all of that.
No, they
Like,
really
it's
didn't.
still the same name, Air Force Aviation Magic. Like, you,
They just where they confused where you put the title with like where you put like the tags of the show. This looks like me like tagging a YouTube video.
this is just a reflection of just a data error, just a straight data entry. These are actually reviews from the comments of individuals writing these synopses. They're not official whatsoever, and the images are the only thing that are real. The titles are also just tags.
Are
Now I
there
get it.
are there legs missiles? I'm confused.
I thought they were in the shape of a missile, like it's kind of just a pose, but
I don't know. They're looking pretty metal, and I'm not seeing a lot of feet.
I
So
think they got legs.
I don't know if they have legs. Um, the war against invading aliens can't be won by missiles alone. Team morale matters just as much. Okay, so they're like cheerleaders as launching a counter assault, and that's where Ginny and her friends come in. Instead of standing on the front lines with the 501st Joint Fighter Wing, the Luminous Witches of the League of Nations Air Force brings smiles to civilians displaced in the human Nuroi war world with thrilling song and dance. Not to mention aerial displays.
Oh,
Oh my god, I don't care.
they're fucking cheerleaders. Please move it
They're
on.
cheerleaders shaped like missiles.
There was only one cheerleading object of all time. It was Bring It On. Gabrielle Union slayed it, and it was actually dope. That's the only time cheerleading's ever been cool. I'm sorry.
There was an anime called Cheer Boys that was totally underrated, and I loved Cheer Boys. It was
Also, the Cheer Boys,
they were
says
at
my friend Alex.
they were at college and they needed to start a group and they just became cheerleaders, but they were like all out of shape, like losers, and then they like got in shape and learned how to do it. It's actually a great sports anime. But anyways, Smile of the Arsenatoria. This is like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Smile of the Arsenatoria. The Here in this magic academy city of Ashram, where everyone is required to live in dormitories, a close-knit group of girls known as pentagrams pursue their studies, including training in manners and magic to become true ladies. Arsenatoria, one of the students in Ashram, lives in dorm 5 and is always with her dormmate friends. Mel, who is the life of the party. Okay, this one's hitting home for me. So she lives with the life of the party in the dorms, Mel. Um,
Yeah,
Petite
been there,
Al
done that.
Yeah, that's that one. That one hurts, folks. Petite Albert, who is quiet and does things at her own pace. Picatrix, who wants to be the class president, and a Bremelin, who's always cool. Okay, so a Bremelin is like the Fresh Prince of Osanatoria. She's cool. What's Fonzie
So,
like? It's cool.
hey,
They take classes and work on their bullshit, and I'm clicking X. So they're gonna become true ladies. What the hell is going on here? You seeing Hank?
what's up, Hank? That's a fro. I can tell.
Yeah, it's a deep
But
throw.
who's voice acting him though? What's up? Once again, red flag.
Setsuji
We
Sato.
got another red flag.
An- Sets, dude, I am extremely interested to hear Setsuji Sato's his interpretation of Hank.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, this story begins when Barry, an average girl from an average home, meets Hack. Wait, Hack or Hank? Okay, Hack's a different character. Meets Hack, a girl who looks like a boy. Charmed by Hack, Barry meets up with the team Hack leads, the Ghost Detectives Club. Members of this club are socially dead, working invisibly within the digitally controlled society of Tom Sawyer. As she works within the group, Barry learns about Zero, a mysterious figure who lurks within Tom Sawyer's underground. Okay, this would almost sound interesting if the art didn't look so bad, and if it. Well, let's just learn about Hank. What do we?
Yeah,
What
let me
happens if?
into the Hank
What
world.
happens if I just click on Hank?
Oh,
Okay, so Hank can fix anything and make anything. The Uri Detectives Club resident engineer who collects junk from all over the island that he can make just about anything from. He's the creator of Finn's SOS. So this has got a bunch of weird Tom Sawyer references. Like this is Huckleberry
yeah.
Finn, I'm assuming. I I guess
Huh.
that I'm gonna check it out because I want to
This
see.
this might be one of those eclectic things that winds up being artistically cool. But I feel like because it's so bottom at this list, that it just means that they're not going to do as much as they should.
But a lot of times the popularity is just based off of like what 14-year-olds are reading, like what
Recognizable.
manga. Yeah. So
And is this based off a manga?
well, let's find out as my next thing. No, it's an original, so no one would have heard of it yet. So it
So it
does.
has hope for being kind of like uniquely cool.
Yeah. So let's hold out hope that Setsuji
So
Sato
it only
doesn't.
has like 1.5 red flags for me. So like we still has
Well,
hope.
I don't know. Setsuji Sato, is that a red flag?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. Red
let's
flag them.
let's hope that he doesn't set back the community. Um,
I'm sure that, like somebody told him it was okay. So
they've got different
that's why we're
rules.
here.
They've got different rules over there. Yeah. All right. Well, that one's at least like all right. That's got something
Look,
worth.
red flags are good. I'm telling you, like 3 red flags are bad, but one is like acceptable, regular, baseline, you know, control group. So I'm okay
moving
with it.
moving forward, we are basing everything we do off the number of red flags. That will be our new rating system for the new seasons.
I mean, it's obvious that the name of this video is going to be like, you can pause your Crunchyroll subscription for a season
Yeah.
because we can't figure out why you would spend the money. Like that's what we're going to
No.
wind up saying.
Yeah. Phantom of the Idol. Oh, like Phantom of the Opera, but with idols.
So I really don't care.
I don't know anything about Phantom of the Opera. Have you seen Phantom of the Opera?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Nah, I'm ignorant.
Okay, so what do we know about Phantom? We know the mask guy, correct?
I know that's it.
He's got
Like
half
that's
of a
actually
mask.
as far as I can go. I
There's an
can give you like that he's
no
kind of creepy and he likes to take off like Zorro. Like
There's
that's
an
literally
organ.
all that I got.
There's organ playing involved. Someone's playing the organ.
Organs. Yeah.
And I
Okay.
remember that when Rip Hamilton, because I'm going to just include as many Pistons
Nice.
things as possible moving forward, when he
I
wore
like
his
this.
mask in the playoffs, he was the Phantom of the Palace. That
He
was
was. He was. He was.
okay. So let's hope that it's
He was a
more
killer
like
too.
Rip Hamilton. All right. Most idols are fueled by their love of performing before adoring fans. Yuya, however, is fueled by his love of an easy paycheck. Yuya is one half of the idol duo Zings, but his supreme laziness, not to mention his disdain for idol fans in general, all right, I'm with him on that, has him on the brink of getting blacklisted from the business. In a chance backstage encounter, he meets the spectral Asahi, a mysterious former idol who's eager to stage her own comeback by any means necessary, including assuming complete control of Yuya's willing body and aiming to become the best idol
Because
in the
it's a
world
ghost.
together. Oh man, okay,
It's
so
a
there's
ghost.
okay, yeah, is the Phantom of the Opera, was he a ghost?
Well, this one is.
I thought he was just like a dude that lived in the opera and
Yeah, I
like
thought he was like a guy
and
and
then
he
he's
just
just
kept
like
running
creeping
away.
creeping around the
Yeah,
opera.
yeah. I thought he just hung out near the opera to make sure, like weird things would happen. But no, I feel like this is a dead performer who is going to get all up in this other dude's shit and make him, say do the job right. And he's
She's
gonna be like, I
yeah.
hate this, but like I'm doing it really well, and then maybe he'll I look, it's better than 80% of the bullshit that we red flagged. It's still getting 3 red flags.
It's
I'm still red
getting
flagging,
I think
but
it's
like I'm
got
just gonna at least.
many red flags. Um I'll give
But
that one about I'll give that
like
one.
red flags with like consideration. Like you can watch an episode or two of it.
Teppin with 15 exclamation points.
You're never
Teppin.
gonna get like why,
Laugh until you cry.
and then why do the all of the main characters look like this now? Like I thought we
I
were.
don't know, dude. They all look like the scared shy one. Look at their, you can't see their faces that well, but they literally all look like the shy one.
Yeah.
Um, Yayoi Sakamoto, a diehard fan of comedians, and okay, it's a comedian one and comedy acts, enrolls in
All right.
private Kazuki High School in Nanba, Osaka's entertainment district, famous as the starting point for many comedians. Yeah, I know a lot of
Okay.
comedians that have come out of Nanba, Osaka. I think Dave Chappelle started in Nanba. Um, yeah, I'm not making that up.
What are you even saying out loud?
Bo Burnham, before he got blew up,
Easily
it was
started in
Nanba
Namba.
Osaka. Yeah. So
Uh,
she reunites with Yamogi Takahashi, a childhood friend who once formed the comedy duo Konomonzu with her when they were little. Before long, they find God. This is like making me not able to read. I don't know why. It's like it destroyed my brain. Before long, they find themselves putting together a routine at a park like they did before. I like the sentence like they did before. In order to enter a local, as you may have remembered from the sentence before this, um, it's contest and a mysterious girl calls out to them. I got a feeling that this comedy is not going to be the type of comedy that.
6 red flags.
Yeah. It would be great if it was just like she just dropped like a total like Kings of Comedy set. Like it was just like
A legendary, like globally recognized set inside of this crap anime. Just
I
a legendary set.
I would look past all copyright infringement if the second episode was just like literally word for word like Bernie Mac's set on the Kings of Comedy. Just if this little Japanese girl saying "some of a bitch" and
Yeah, holy shit, that would be funny.
all right, here's the hope for Teppen with 15 exclamation points. Okay, sports one.
It is sports,
It's
or
all
was it just like sports T-shirts, like the baseball T-shirts, which you can just buy those. Those are just.
it's just some athletic fit men doing something else.
They just stopped at Target and they just got that from there. That's all.
Four young boys on a soccer team get isekai to another world and start a harem. four young, fit, athletic wear men. Um, okay, wait, no, this is actually from a long time ago. This is I don't know if this is a sequel or a remake, but this Aki Densetsu shoot is from like 1993. Like this is an old soccer one. Um,
Kind of exciting because these aren't missing right now.
well, normally the world, it's a World Cup year, and they tend to like kind of line that stuff up, just like how Japan Stinks had the Olympics and came out the year the Olympics was supposed to be in Japan, but then the situation made that not happen. But this is a World Cup year, and normally it would be in the summer, except because it's in Qatar, it's in November. So maybe they just mistimed it. But Atsushi Kamiya, a former captain at Kakagawa High School and the world-renowned courageous captain for a famous Italian soccer team, and Hideto Tsuji, a student at Kakagawa High School who seems uninterested in the now weakened soccer team. Wait, that wasn't a sentence. It kept feeling like it was going to be a sentence. They were like this guy
That was
and
a
this guy
lot
and then this guy
to
and then it just says dot dot dot. Their meeting is the start of a new legend. Okay, so I'm guessing it's like a sequel to the old show. I don't think I'm gonna watch the old show, but I can check this out and see if it's interesting. The art style does not look great to me so
Yeah,
far, character designs, but
I don't know. Yeah, I'll like sports that aren't trying to do anything weird are normally like the shoo-ins for me because they wind up being something pretty compelling eventually. So
I'm
I'm
just
gonna
trying to get
hope.
I'm just trying to get hyped up.
Yeah, I just like getting hype on it and just like knowing that they cared a lot about the sport that they're writing about because
Yeah,
it always comes through, and that's all that I really need. So
give me
yeah, I'm
hype.
gonna
Yeah,
remain hopeful for this one. I'm gonna give it uh one red flag just to
the character design
keep
is
the
a red flag.
red flag on the characters of that.
I think we're nearing the end of this. Shine Post, although the idol group Tings is chasing it. Okay, whatever, dude. Idols called Shine Post. Next. I don't need any of that. Extreme Hearts. The story of Extreme Hearts is set in the near future when the hobby of hypersports. Okay, you've got my attention with the phrase
Okay,
hypersports,
hyper sports. What's up, hyper sports?
which are enhanced with special gear and power-up items, has become so it's Mario Kart has become popular among children and adults alike. The story focuses on Hiyori Hayama, a second-year high school student who initially has no connection to hypersports, but after a chance encounter, this begins to change as Hiyori and her friends go closer and pursue their athletic dreams. I'm seeing a lot of different hypersports here. There's softball, soccer, basketball. I don't know. I like the idea of hyper sports. It's gonna be bad because it's all little girls, but that's a red flag is all the little girls. But I like
You know, yeah, like that's a couple of red flags, but like still potentially, if it's drawn by the right company, no matter who the characters are, it's not like they're less powerful because they're drawn. So it quite literally could still be compelling action.
the artwork doesn't look bad, and it's also an original. This artwork, like right here, like this top right corner, that's actually like looks good.
Yeah, that
Um,
baseball throw, I can see
yeah.
it looks good. I don't know. Once again, I'm gonna leave this with a hopeful one or two red flags. This is a
at at a
hopeful two red flags.
at a minimum, I like that this ball is a ball I've never seen before. So, show me a sport that has never been made before.
Yeah, that's important. We're still
Hy-
trying to figure that out for ourselves.
Hyper sports for basketball. So that's cool. I'm fine with that.
Right,
Uh,
slam ball, got it.
KJ file. Wait a minute. Who is this? Yeah, this is made by Ilka. This is the Yamishibai Jikandaio group. So this is gonna look terrible. The story is
Amishibai.
the story is set in a world where unique kaijus suddenly begin to appear in various places around the world. Members of the United Nations Monster Observatory will explore a world where kaijus with great powers and humankind live together. So this is going to be really, really bad because it's the Yamishibai people, so it's like not even going to be like real
Gonna
animation.
animate it.
Yeah, that's it's.
Gonna be like a webcomic. It's gonna be slightly worse than webcomics.
I think that
Rip.
might be getting down there. Oh, Extreme Hearts is made by Seven Arcs. You may remember them from Mushibugyo.
Hey, that's a sleeper. That's a sleeper, everybody.
Yeah.
Don't come for Mushibugyo. I'm telling y'all that shit was hot. It was kind of hot.
Down at the bottom are the sequels that just no one. Okay, The Prince of Tennis 2. The Prince of Tennis was very popular anime, but they've made like 30 sequels, and people apparently don't care much about this one. I'm not willing to invest the 200 episodes or whatever it is into The Prince of Tennis, so maybe someday, but yeah.
I started it a while ago, but that was it. It was just to see what it looked like, honestly.
This looks bad. Cart Fight Vanguard is like looks like Yu-Gi-Oh ripoff. The shorts are always very bad lately. The shorts used to be funny. Remember, like Sen Yu was funny and like Miss Monochrome. There used to be funny ones, but now they're all very bad. What do you think the
Oh,
500 million?
it seems like a cash grab, dude. It seems like everybody's just like desperately trying to land a deal and not trying. Like that's it.
Let's see what I'll click on one of them. 500 million yen button. The 500 million year button. Press this button and a million yen will come out. So a million yen's like only like $10,000. In exchange, you have to spend 500 million years in a completely empty space for $10,000. You have to spend 500 million years in a completely empty space. However, the moment the 500 million years has passed, your memory will be erased and you'll be right back where you started. So for the person who pressed the button, it would be like a million yen in an instant. So you would put yourself through 500 million years of like horrendous agony, but then you'd forget it and you'd just have like 10K in your bank. I feel like that's not worth it, even though you don't remember it.
Not worth it. It seems
I
like time doesn't actually move, which is nice because it doesn't sound like you're gonna age either. But
right.
yeah, no, because you're not going to be stable out of that.
10K? Like, are you kidding me? Like $10,000? It's like nothing.
No, I don't mean money financially stable. Like, no, of course you're not. Mentally stable, you will not be. You can't.
No, there's an
You
amount of
can't tell me that.
money. It's just much higher than 500 million, or sorry, it's much higher than a million yen. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that's insane.
Leftovers, summertime rendering. This is that one that I want you to check out. It's got an 80%, super high. Summertime rendering is the bomb.
Oh yeah, that's right. You sent me the message. Got it.
That's like a super. That's like a really awesome mystery action drama thing. That one's really fucking cool. Um,
Okay.
I can't give away much without giving away spoilers, but it's one of those ones. It reminds me of Erased, and I think that if you watch like 2 episodes, anyone would be hooked on it because it's the least anime show. It reminds me of like a live action kind of like a western kind of plot, but it's really
Got it.
sick.
Got it.
There's somehow always Kingdom going on. Every season somehow there's Kingdom is happening. I don't know what these other shows are. Awashi.
Awashi is
Still got 12 more.
definitely. I'm so happy for it to keep going because, like, I feel like I haven't been getting, in comparison to other sports anime, I don't think that they're telling as wide scope of a story. I don't feel the scope of it all, but because it is going at a pace that I enjoy, I can only hope that it's going to accumulate into something that is really grandiose because of like it just being good watches every single time. But like the climax, I do really crave something a lot bigger than just like continuing the soccer journey. So I'm hoping that they can evolve it into something crazy really quickly.
I don't know how much manga there is of it, but I mean, Production IG is making it, and they're also the ones that made Kuroko and Haikyuu. So that's a good sign.
That's
That's those are like basically the top of the line sports anime, and they both got Kuroko got to like 75 episodes, and Haikyuu got somewhere around like 100 or something. So I think that it should get its full due. So hopefully that just has like many seasons, and I love it.
yeah,
It's really fun.
hopefully. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad that you like it. Cause like it was a little mellow at first, but I was just like, but it's good. The characters look good. It's moving. Like I enjoy it.
The mom is the
So
worst, but it's
that
okay.
was the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's trying, dude. Like I literally understand her pain as a character. So He's trying.
This One Piece movie looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, the animation.
It's time to watch the Dragon Ball and One Piece movies.
Yeah, that one just came out. The Dragon Ball movie just came out. It's not here yet.
Super Super.
It'll be here in a couple months, I think.
Oh, we still gotta wait. Jeez.
Yeah, that's the thing with the movies is we don't really get them immediately because they're like in theaters in Japan.
Yeah.
Um, Other than that, movies, idols, Gundams. What the fuck is okay? Do you see this koala bear? He's frightening.
Yes.
Okay, moving on.
Yes. Moving on. Red flag.
We got a Doctor Stone OVA coming at some point, like a little episode. Doctor Stone's pretty good. Cyberpunk has 10 episodes coming out. So the reason you have to still check the ONA thing is because that's where the Netflix shows generally go because they're released digitally, they're considered an ONA because they're not on TV, they're on Netflix. So they're like super technical about
Oh,
that.
they just got their own acronym for it.
Well, because it's basically OVA, is like an extra episode that's usually included with like a Blu-ray or like a manga issue or something. It's just like one episode. But an ONA is like when it's like online release and not on like Japanese TV. So like One Piece comes out on TV, you can watch it on TV every week. But Cyberpunk is just as much a show as the ones up at the top, but it's not technically a TV series because it's being released digitally only on Netflix.
And that's based on the video game, yes?
So we'll see if it ever comes out because I remember I didn't play the video game, but I just know that it was like the most like everyone was so mad because they paid for it and they kept like not releasing it or something to that effect.
Yeah. It came out and everything. It was just overly ambitious and had a lot of bugs when they finally launched. I
Got it.
feel like they improved it over time, but unfortunately, I think the reputation was like you shot for the moon and you didn't even hit like anything. So you need to just.
Yeah.
I think it was about a rushed release. It's a classic. Like, just don't fucking rush yourself. Don't live up. Don't try to live up to the hype if you're not confident. Just wait. Just
They
wait.
aimed for the stars and did not or they they did
They
not
didn't hit
land.
anything. I
Yeah,
couldn't even do the saying because I was like, well, I don't know. There's no clouds because like nobody's playing that game
they just
anymore either.
they just landed in Pontiac. Um,
It
but
just fell back down to Pontiac.
It's made by Trigger though. I mean, that's cool. Anything made by Trigger, it's
Great studio.
got my attention.
Yeah, that shit is amazing.
Oh, here you like this one, right? Kakaguri.
Or
Didn't you watch this?
Kakagurui, the
The
the gambling
gambling
one.
the gambling Mean Girls one?
Yeah, that one. I didn't see the second one, the second season. This is the season, right?
Says Kakaguri Twin as a
Oh,
first.
this is a spinoff.
It says okay, the end says find out in this prequel to the mega popular so this is a prequel.
Okay, yeah, sure, whatever. I'll check it out.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Main character was crazy as hell. Like, just
It's a Netflix guy. That's why it's in the ONA. So I don't know how many episodes there are, but it's not coming out for like a month. But that's something.
I'll give it one red flag.
One red flag. Oh, this is actually one that I'm interested in. I'll save that for last. These are all just like one episodes. Oh, Tiger and Bunny too. It's another like highly anticipated thing that I'm not gonna watch. My Hero Academia playing baseball.
That's
Um,
cool. I'd rather watch that than the fucking show.
I'd rather watch that than baseball.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's two things I don't like, but if you put them together, maybe it'll be okay. So then I think the last thing that has any intrigue at all, this is gonna have 24 episodes. Have you ever heard of Bastard? Do you recognize this at all?
It's not hitting in my memory bank right now.
It's a super old manga from like either the 80s or the 90s, like early 90s or late 80s. It's called Bastard Heavy Metal Dark Fantasy. And it's got 80s manga written all over it, like super violent. Like it's in a post apocalyptic world of heavy metal fantasy. The only thing able to save humans from orcs, lizard men, and other monsters is something even more evil. Sealed within a 14-year-old boy, the chaotic wizard Dark Schneider is unleashed to fight four mighty generals and their plot to resurrect the evil god Ancylsax. Anal. It looks a lot like anal sex, but it's Ancylsax. Um,
Hey,
but it's called
red
Bastard,
flag.
and it's but it's you can see it's got like some pretty old school
Wow.
like
Looking
look.
like a Genesis cartridge.
Yeah, 1988. Um,
Looking like a Nintendo Entertainment System cartridge. Back when the art on the cover had absolutely nothing to do with the video game whatsoever. Freaking ever. They just hired a painter and was just like,
yeah,
draw our character, and then we're gonna do pixel art inside the game.
right. It
I
looks
think they
like
used to fool us into thinking that we were
oh
gonna
yeah,
get anything like those covers. We're like, oh my god, this is gonna be so cool. Tails look so good.
yeah, because we didn't
And
have
we
the
still
we didn't have the internet at that time. You know what I mean? Like that was like 1993, and we just literally you had to go off the cover. Like you'd look
going
at
off the
it.
cover in the three thumbnails on the back of the gameplay that you saw. It'd
It
be
does
like
that.
that.
That did look like a Sega Genesis cover. But that one I think is actually going to be pretty good. And the first episode comes out in 3 hours, so I'll let you know.
Ah,
Okay. Well, in conclusion, folks, that did not look extremely exciting.
this is a red flag season,
That
for
is the
sure. Red
season of
red flag summer all night.
red flag summer, like
The red flag
hot
summer.
boy summer, red flag summer. Um, so yeah, I think I'm mostly looking forward to The Devil's a Part Timer and Made in Abyss, and I guess the Bastard one, and maybe the Uncle from Another World.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's like five in them in there or whatever, and that's
On
it
and the
for me.
Bakumatsu one, the Shine On Bakumatsu Bad Boys.
That's the best one.
Yeah, yeah, that one. Other than that, man, what? How does this compare? Do you think is this just what we're doing from here on out? Like, is it getting worse and worse? Because I seem to recall other seasons having more exciting.
This is just a bad season.
Okay.
We have to. It's not like any individual studio or anime is responsible for it. So when we give you all of these red flags, it's with love that we tell you that it's definitely not one of our better showings as a anime industry, as you will. I think that they'll bounce back because like the ones that they'll bounce back. You know, it's not over. It's just there was there was a flood. There was a fire sale, if you will, of just bringing them in, and everything's getting greenlit, and all that $1 billion Netflix money was looking just too juicy, and then the
Yeah.
people were just like, well, the Isekai Kaiser, and now here we are. But look,
Wait,
it won't last.
we are making the Isacat. I don't know what the Isacat is, but I'm
Isekai,
we're making the Isacat. Yeah.
all right, Isekai actually would be something.
That was
So
a mental typo, but now it exists.
I'm I'm full of them. So
Yeah, man.
all right,
I think this is just gonna be a bad one. Everyone's gearing up for fall anyway, by the way. I don't know if you remember how insane fall is gonna be,
and
but
Bleach is back. That's all y'all need to know about. Bleach is coming back.
if you look at fall, it's My Hero Academia, Mob Psycho 3. With Mob Psycho 3, I'm just as up for. Bleach,
That
Spy
cycle's
Family, which
incredible.
everyone loves, and dude, there's this one's gonna be wild. Oh, and Yaomushi Pedals coming back.
Oh
Um,
my god, are you serious?
yeah, we're getting new
Nobody knows about Yawamushi Pedal. I literally put every anime fan onto it when they talk to me about sports anime.
Yeah,
It is the most unlikely, most compelling sports thing you'll ever watch. Live action or animated. I'm telling you right now that the show it hits different and the
yeah,
heart is in it all the time. I'm serious. I swear to God, it was so
I
good.
know. I love the abs guy. I'm back for more abs guy.
Abu, Abu,
Abu,
Abu.
abu, abu.
That good.
But yeah, so that I mean,
Yeah, dude,
like,
that's a great
yeah,
one.
we're
I
just
can't wait. Fall's gonna be lit. Are you serious? I'm not
yeah,
even gonna be able to pull away. I'm gonna have something to watch every day.
yeah. That's I'm just biding time this summer until Bleach, Mob Psycho, and Yellow Peta are back.
I think everybody should just watch the big three, Ice Cube's basketball league in the meanwhile, and then just wait for the season to fill out. You know,
I've tried to watch the big three.
it's not good.
It's not good. I went to it It was at the palace, or
No crap,
was
dude.
it at the palace? Yeah, no, it was at Little Caesars Arena, and I went to it, and I mean, it was fun in the sense that I got to watch Gary.
Who was there?
Well, Gary Payton was coaching. I remember that. Dude, I honestly, I barely remember. I remember just rooting for the Ghost Ballers because they have the
Nice.
best logo.
They
But
did. The purple logo with the ghost is pretty lit.
I feel like for some reason that like Carlos Arroyo was just like running everything, which was just there's been some very interesting names popping up in the big three that run. It's funny because it's like it's no longer about like who's the best at basketball, and it's just about like who has avoided injury and stayed in the best shape because they're like 40. So Carlos Arroyo runs runs the league because just he's fine still, I guess.
Perfect shape.
You know,
Still game ready.
you don't have to get ready when you stay ready, like Carlos Arroyo.
Carlos Arroyo, 2022.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me on this preview of the summer 2022 anime season. Hopefully, we get some more exciting original stuff, and hopefully, some of these shows surprise us. You know,
Yeah,
maybe
the ones that we gave too many red flags, maybe we pull a red flag out.
maybe Ayumu will make his move immediately, and then he'll start doing space karate. You know, maybe yeah.
That didn't work at all.
No, well, we'll see. And hopefully the stepmom's daughter is my ex one. Um, you know, goes well.
I don't know. I put my scouter on and not looking good.
Its power level is extremely low.
This is my red flag scouter and it is going off, bro. Like this is bad news, Bears fam. So
It's
just
got over 9,000 red flags.
it's over 9,000 red flags, guys. So just be careful out there watching these shows and wasting your time. There's good stuff to come.
That's true. And also, I would also like to note, just as a man who's been rewatching Dragon Ball Z, in the Japanese version, it's I don't know why they would change it to 9,000, but it's 8,000. He doesn't
Oh
say.
yeah, there's zero reason to do that. Like
Yeah,
just give us eight.
yeah.
It sounds
Vegeta
great.
said it's over 8,000. So just want everyone to know
Are
that
you serious?
he was not over
What
nine.
a stupid
Yeah,
translation
it was not 9,000.
mistake.
It's absolutely 8,000. So
But in the dub, he definitely said nine. So we're
yeah,
blaming
it's
the
like
sub to dub
it's
translation. He
it's
like he
like
said it's over 9,000, but
yeah, it's like the biggest meme in the community. But
yeah,
it's
it is. It is actually the biggest meme of anime, possibly.
I'm sure that he did get over 9,000, but it's not what was being yelled.
All right, you guys. Well, I wish everybody luck on their anime endeavors.
Stay safe out there, folks. There's a lot of bad anime running around out there right now.
Don't download any anime viruses.
Yeah. All right. Later.